2005. The treacherous Decepticons have conquered the Autobots' home planet of Cybertron. Cybertrons. Of Cybertron.
Cybertrons.
Of Cybertron. Of Cybertrons.
Cybertrons.
Of Cybertron.
Cybertrons.
Of Cybertron. Of
Cybertrons. Cybertrons.
Of Cybertron.
Cybertrons.
Of Cybertron. Of Cybertron.
Cybertrons.
Of Cybertron.
Cybertrons.
Of Cybertron. Of Cybertron.
Cybertrons.
Of Cybertron.
Cybertrons.
Of Cybertron. Of
Cybertrons. Cybertrons.
Of Cybertron.
Cybertrons.
Of Cybertron. Of
Cybertrons. Cybertrons.
Of Cybertron.
Cybertrons.
Of Cybertron.
We now return you to the Children of Primus.
And welcome.
Hey everyone.
What is
Good evening.
on?
How we all doing?
Good. Still recovering from TFCON, actually.
I was
Yes.
just about to add something to that effect.
Worse.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I caught a cold. I didn't realize until just a couple of days ago, but Deceptikitty, Lana caught like the nastiest cold. I took her to the vet on Tuesday, but the Monday after the con, she came up to me and like her voice was like a little gremlin telling me, "Look, I'm really sick, Daddy."
No.
Yeah.
Con crud.
Con crud, yeah, exactly. Con crud and then plus whatever virus was floating around.
Yummy.
I've arrived. I needed to get me some beverages so that I don't blow my voice out.
Mm.
Yeah, exactly. Slightly different purposes.
I'm gonna have to get one sent up to me.
I'll just point it in your general direction and step outside and throw really hard.
There you go.
There you go.
Got it.
Anthony, for a hot second there, before you showed the whole thing on camera, I thought it was a sippy cup. I'm like,
Oh yeah, the tape. Yeah, I got.
Yeah,
one of those.
remember these? Okay, so just out of the blue, the guy's name will come to me, but he handed me this cassette. It's not a demo; it's a full album of the drummer from the
Cybertronic Spree?
Cybertronic Spree. Thank you very much. So the drummer, he has his own band and his own thing going on, and he gave me this cassette. And I'm like, wow, I'm so happy that you're giving me this. How much is it? He's like, yeah, don't worry about it, as he's handing another one to Anthony. And Anthony opens his, and his is blue. So I have
I got it here to show.
a Frenzy, and he has a Rumble. I think that's so awesome. I can't wait to put this into a tape deck and listen
Wait,
to
don't you have that backwards? Or do you?
it. Yeah,
So-
exactly.
So that's what that
exactly.
fight was at the convention. It's like, it's red, it's blue.
You don't know until you open this.
Yeah. So, but the album is on Spotify. It's online, so you can listen to it anyways. And the name is Rumble Friends.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Literally handing out mixtapes like it was back in the day.
So is
Yo,
it like
that was
Cybertronic
so
Spree? Is
dope.
it, like Transformer-related songs?
To be honest, I haven't
Well,
given
one
it a
of them's
listen
called
yet.
Mental Scorponok, and one of them's called Galvatronica, so I'm guessing it's Transformers.
So let me catch up on the comments. Impactor is waiting to come on. A comment from James Coleman. Hey guys, hope you all rested from TFCON Toronto. It was a blast. Hope we can do this again at TFCON Toronto 2025. Till then, get some rest. See you next week. Same Children of Primus time, same Children of Primus channel. And Shiba Kobe says, woo, in on the ground floor this time.
Hey, Shiba.
Yay.
Early Costco run.
Yeah. Which Decepticitty says, hey, James, TFCON was worth losing a bit of sleep over. I'm really glad you made it. And we got to meet up with you, which is very cool. And and Fair of Courage, thanks for those loose BBs, ransack.
Yeah, cool. Anytime. I'm just trying to make sales, and any I make in advance are always good.
Did y'all get to meet Shiba Kobe in person?
No, Shiba Kobe couldn't make it this year. Just a mishap of scheduling. But hopefully next year Shiba Kobe can come if you have a place to stay in the area.
Yeah. I have all.
Oh, that was your comment. Okay, I'm sorry.
I have most of the things that I picked up at TFCON just spread out on the table before me. I actually had to do a little bit of repair work earlier today. So this is Clutch, one of the exclusives. It's the Decepticon Clench, but he's a retool of Armada Optimus. And one of his arms, like, they're kind of tough to do this to, but like they start out in this position, and then you got to slide them up for the transformation. And this one was not sliding up and down, so I took a screwdriver to it, took the whole thing apart, put it back together. Now it's working as it should. And, you know, I'm always proud when I managed to pull a repair off.
Sweet.
Instead of taking it apart, I'd recommend some LPS lubricant.
Yeah,
it's plastic safe.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Furniture polish. Furniture or wood floor wax.
That'll actually build up inside of the slider. Like, have you ever seen furniture where it was clean with nothing but furniture polish its whole life? It's got this wax buildup on it. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it'll do the same thing inside of the cylinder. So LPS lubricant.
Interesting.
Yeah, this was the exclusive I went with. He has a little base here. You know what I like about Fans Hobby Toys? They always have gimmicks in them. So this thing here actually does launch a spring-loaded missile, and you never see that anywhere these days. So I appreciate they kept that in as a feature.
You know, you holding that up just made me realize I bought my son the original Armada Prime, and what you were holding up there had the gun on it. I've literally still got the gun for that. And I've got Bruticus holding it in the cases.
Yeah, well, it's a good-looking weapon, so... yeah.
Cool.
Oh, best deal I got at the show. I just finished stickering this guy up. This is a reissue G1 Rodimus Prime. And the guy was selling this with the box and everything for $25 Canadian, which is ridiculous for something like this. And the reason it was so cheap was because it didn't have the spoiler. Everything else was there, and, you know, it was still boxed. So I was able to go to the parts guy and get the spoiler separate. And
oh, come on! You found a. Oh, man, that just makes me mad. I've been looking for a spoiler for my Rodimus.
It's the only piece I'm missing for mine.
Yeah, for like 20 years, dude. Like, even the last TFCon I went to, I was going through all the parts bits. Do you have the spoiler for Rodimus? Do you have the spoiler? Nobody had it. And I never even thought about buying a reissue just to get another one.
Well, I mean, yeah. Even if you don't collect the reissues, like, they're a good source of, like, spare parts if you need to replace things.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I knew Toy Warp was looking for a spoiler, and we found out you got that parts put together on the restream there. I'm like, oh my god! I didn't get much opportunity in the dealer room, but yeah, that's cool. You found that, and if you can, like, let me know who sold you that.
It's the I don't know the Rodimus or the spoiler.
The spoiler.
It's the guy that's always at the very front wall that always has those giant bins of nothing but G1 and G2 figure parts. I mean, I don't know his name offhand, but he's always there every year. He always has giant bins of replacements. I've gotten a few things from him in the past.
Well, I know. I got his name, I think, last year or the year before, but he does also have his own eBay pay like eBay section. But every single part you could think of for G1 and NG2, he has it, which is insane. The only thing is that I will say is I do believe that certain parts he prices because he knows that it's like, well, you know, if you've got 99% of whatever figure and you need that one part, he'll price it a certain way where it's like you have no choice but to come to me. I'm charging you whatever I want for it.
Like, this was a fairly pricey spoiler, but like I was fine with that because the core figure was like basically nothing. So he also got me a G2 Grimlock, which I've wanted since the 90s. So it's just the G1 guy, but he's blue, and you know, sometimes that's all you really need.
Cool. Stephen Box says, might join once I finish posting IG pics of Legacy United, Shard, and Stag Beetle fan alt mode among different flowers and trees in my yard.
Yeah, I saw a picture of that on our Discord. It's a really cool thing. It's a new figure that changes into a helicopter, and people have figured out you can fan mode it, so basically you can turn the helicopter into what looks like a stag beetle, and it's very convincing.
Cool. Shiba Kobe says, no point going to Costco today. Well, thank you for joining us early. And Shiva also says, well, yeah, my sister lives in Ontario. I went for the 2006 one year. And Stephen Bach is asking if I pull up the prior comment, I like to screenshot capture you guys to put pic of stream with last TF toy pics I got to post. Let's see. That would be that one, I'm guessing.
So 2006 Shiba Kobe, that would have been at the Doubletree in Mississauga. That was also my first year at TFCON.
So there was a point where they were in Mississauga, but they weren't at their usual location. Interesting.
Yeah. So it was another hotel. It was good for a while, and well, there was a bunch of reasons why we stopped going there, but the hotel just didn't want to put up with us anymore, I think.
That's one way to say it.
Interesting about going back and you know, seeing who was at what cons and everything. Apparently Deceptikitty and I were probably within arm's reach of each other at the 2010 BotCon.
Wow.
It was so funny because we started because the Paul Eiding when Paul Eiding came to BotCon 2010, right before the voice actor panel, I caught him kind of in the back of the room, and you know, kind of like nudge his shoulder, like, "Hey," you know, and he signed it, you know, without paying for it, without he's like, he was just like really happy to see me and everything. And apparently, while I did that, Deceptikitty was talking to him too. He was right there in that general vicinity. So like, it was really crazy to think in 2010, we could have met.
Yeah, it was so coincidental because it was like earlier in the convention. It was during a Peter Cullen panel, and Paul Eiding was sitting alone in the back of the panel room. And I remember taking him aside. I wanted to talk to him, and he's like, "Let's go to the back because I don't want to be rude to Peter Cullen." So we got to talk in the back, and that's exactly where Toy Warp met him. And like, this is before he even had his like signing autograph table. Like, we were the first. This is also his first convention, so legitimately, Toy Warp and I were the first fans to be like, "Hey, we love you. Can you sign something for us?"
Nice.
Yeah, I'm gonna get that comic and something in the oven. I'll be right back.
Yeah, that's already going off. Let me show you the most amusing thing that I got here. Because I'm looking for this guy for a while. The reaction figure that they did of
Nice.
the unreleased G1 prototype Unicron. Yeah, it doesn't transform, unfortunately, because they're generally not allowed to do that. I guess those Hot Wheels guys had special dispensation, but they just made like a 5 POA action figure of the prototype, and this is the exact kind of silly that I enjoy. So,
Yeah, that seems right up your alley.
yeah. There's also a green version painted like the other prototype that they put out. If it shows up at the convention, I'll pick that up too.
And Prime Dynamics says, that's a cool story. What up, gents? What up, Prime Dynamics? How are you doing? And RJ Eagle says, TFCon baby, sounds like you guys had a great time. Sorry I couldn't make it out that weekend, but I look forward to hearing some of the fun and juicy stories.
Yeah. I think I was the only person here that made it to the script reading. So I want to say there was a thing they did the whole time that was a really funny running gag, which is usually somebody has to narrate the action in between the dialogue. So they had Victor Caroli was there, so they had him doing that. And they specifically wrote the dialogue so that, and he understood the assignment where he was saying it like it was the G1 toy commercials, like Cheetor would do something and he's like, with his cyber slashing blades he fights them and but then the evil Decepticons do this and that, and it was really funny because everybody immediately got what they were doing with his narration between the dialogue.
Nice.
Out.
Yeah.
Oh.
There's this one point where like Optimus Prime was like, "All right, I'm assembling the troops. Let's everybody go. Bone Crusher, Optimus Miner, Cyber Shark, and Victor Crowley just cuts in, each sold separately from Hasbro."
That's great.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, so that was a great thing to listen to. Yeah, I like the prototype too. The fact that they actually made the figure. If they made a transforming one, I would probably get it as long as it wasn't gigantic. It's amazing how things like that loop around and become cool again. What up, Freakenstein?
What up, Freakenstein? We ran into him at TFCon as well.
Yeah, I have a lot of things here. I'm like, what else is interesting to show off? We got to field test one of Deceptikitty's 3D printed heads and prove that it fits on Earthrise Optimus like it was designed to. It's a Marvel style one with the yellow eyes that he 3D printed. Yeah, so it's nice to see that happen in person. And it does have a base, so you can just fully do like the Marvel Shockwave accessory with this too. I just have it on the guy right now. Yeah, so it's always neat when stuff like that works out. There you are. I was just showing your 3D printed head off. You're still muted though. There you go.
Yeah, I was listening. No, that's awesome. I know it was such a coincidence. Actually, it was just by happenstance that fits. I literally designed that head.
Yeah.
Well, after the thing came out, but it was absolutely not intended for that. And just when that Shockwave head thing came out,
yeah.
thinking
So you could use this with Commander Optimus as well, because now that they fully unveiled it, which was some big news this week, right?
Okay.
They showed on those designer posts that you could pop the head from the Marvel Shockwave set onto him, but it's kind of tiny. And they're like, we know it's tiny, but we didn't have that in mind. So that says to me that the Commander Optimus uses the same joint as this, which means it will be compatible with this. And this head's a little bit bigger, so it might scale even better with the Commander.
Totally. Actually, it looks really good like that. It looks very natural on that. Wow. Even the colors go.
Yeah. Well, yeah, there's another potential thing that it's compatible with based on them showing that off on Instagram. Same joint, so it'll work with that.
That's so fun. I had so much fun showing off some of those 3D printed things at the con.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, the necklaces and the heads and everything. A lot of people were interested in them.
Yeah, I did not expect that, and there were just so many people. It was crazy. We were in the dealer room, so we didn't see the lineup. Legitimately, the lineup went through the convention center, through the lobby, all the way to one of the elevators of one of the hotel towers. There's like the South Tower, North Tower, went around the elevator, like completely around the hallway, around the elevator, and back down the hallway again up into the North Tower. It was insane how many people were there this year.
Yeah. It was. If you were at this convention for as long as us, you were moist by the end of the day because it was the hottest weekend in a while here in Canada.
That's the term, moist. TFCon. How was TFCon 2024?
Moist. Yeah, let's be careful with that one. Well, you know what? Before we jump back right into TFCon stuff, I know everyone's got reveals. I know Impactor also has some reveals, so I'll bring him in a moment. Well, Mr. Magnus, what reveals do you have?
Right. So, got this box here from Big Bad Toy Store.
Ooh.
We'll start with these two.
It's frenzy and rumble, depending on the continuity.
All right. That's why I got. That way I can say this is Sprint. This one's Rumble. This got Scar and Swoop.
Oh yeah, nice. You're
Just
very
needing
close to
snarl.
getting the combiner. I looked for a snarl. I did not see a snarl, but my eyes were open while I was dealer rooming it.
And
Ooh,
Ooh,
nice.
Sandstorm. Nice.
everybody's saying this is once again the sound of the summer.
Sandstorm. And then I've got the other one set up on my display on the other camera. Give me 1 second.
Ooh. Okay, what
Stacks, Tux.
Oh,
Oh, the
nice.
other two.
Is that,
Oh, mask. Sweet.
Yeah, that's the Rhino from
No,
Mask.
no, they're GoBots.
No,
Oh.
no, these are GoBots.
Oh.
Yeah, I got these from Chris Labrador from Transformers Liberated.
Oh, okay.
The admin that came on and talked to us a few months ago.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I picked these up from him.
Oh.
And he just had a group of them online, and I was like, hey, I don't have those.
There's a lot that you
And-
don't have. There's a lot that I don't have. That is a huge line.
Yeah, I always
yeah.
forget how tiny these guys are.
Yeah.
When I was at the convention, somebody, I forget who, just some random person was like, oh, by the way, I got a Crasher, and just like showed it off in the bag, and I was just like, I can't believe how small that is. That's like the size of a barely bigger than a Hot Wheels car.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. It's like pocket sides. They're great. You could carry it in your pocket, play with it in the schoolyard. Yeah.
I mean, some of them were. I mean, some of them had like dual roles. Like, the leader one, they had that small size, but then they also had super GoBots, which were probably about 3 or 4 times the size, which still isn't saying much. I mean, it bumps it up from about 1/64 scale to around 1/32
Well,
scale.
that's what Stacks is.
Yep.
So here's a little something. Oh wait, let me grab her.
It's always an appeal of going to TFCon for me is, even if it's not merchandise I'm after, getting to see these things physically is a little special in and of itself.
Totally.
Yeah, there's a Crasher.
If you can give me, yeah. So this is the Crasher that I had,
Cool.
and about 5 months ago, no, it's been longer than that. It's probably been a year. My mom called me and said, "Hey, I found some stuff over here at the house. Do you want this stuff?"
Oh,
Still got the card back. Yeah.
Cool. That you have.
I
Now.
get-
Holy cow. What's the price?
I get $3.
$3.
Wow.
That one's on me.
That's awesome.
Yep, Kmart.
Yeah, the limo there that was pictured in his GoBots, his name's Tux.
Yeah.
And he's kind of unique because the grill flips up and his head comes out of the grill, but his head literally is a top hat. Like a fancy top hat. Yeah.
He has more drip than any of the Transformers did at the time.
This Prime Dynamics says, wow. And RG Eagle says, nice. Super GoBots. I want them all. Okay. He also says, RG Eagle also says, I think there was another early prototype that transforms that I wish they made as well. Was there any other upcoming prototypes that they displayed there? I believe
Oh, yeah.
Unicron.
Oh, not about Unicron, but they put out, because they do the third-party panel every year, and then like instantly the second the third-party panel's done, like they put the prototypes out that they talked about once they're unveiled. So like whichever one of the dealers was, I'll get to that in a second, Freakenstein. Whichever one of the dealers there was selling the Swindle repaint.
There's your top hat.
Yeah, there he is. Yeah, so they put out a bunch of prototypes for upcoming third-party stuff, like a IDW Silver Megatron from like his minor period, one of the Defensor limbs, a few. a version of Drift that changes into the initial D car.
Toyota AE86.
Yeah, yeah. So I got to, so you see those at the panel, but then you can like go gawk at them in person once because they put them out there once it's done.
Yeah, I have some pics. I'm just gonna pull them up now.
Yeah.
Cool. Now, Freaking Side's asking, did anyone get that blue make toy Seeker?
There's one that's currently in the possession of Professor D, who cut a very fun promo for it that we currently have stashed away. And I was also lent a copy of a previous Blue Seeker of theirs, which I will be doing a review of. And I will say immediately off the bat, I have not transformed this guy yet, but I've been messing around with it. They have improved this tooling. I used to have the G2 Starscream version, and it was not good because it was really, really loose and floppy, and the wings were constantly coming out, and the waist was constantly coming undone. I heard they'd like rethought and refreshed this tooling, and they really did because it's rock solid now. So it feels way better than it used to. And I'm going to be noting that once I get around to writing this guy up. Might take a bit. He's big and complicated.
Cool. RJ Eagle says, sick GoBot Magnus. I'm probably one of the only GoBot fans here.
Oh no.
No, there's more. There's more fans.
I've got a lot of them. I've got so many of them, actually, that I had a different, not the Transformer display cases, but another display case. And I actually got it over full, and it didn't really look that good to display, so I actually had to store them and use the case for something else because it was just too full.
Cool. Now, as we swing around over to Mr. Toy Warp, how was your weekend adventure?
My weekend adventure was the Tampa Toy Con, nowhere near as cool as TFCON, but
okay, but we didn't have Sergeant Slaughter. You had Sergeant Slaughter.
Yeah, come on now. Come on now.
Oh, yeah.
Oh man, what a cool guy! You really want to talk about, man, not changing that guy still. I mean, he looks like Sergeant Slaughter. I mean,
I saw the photos.
because he was
it looks
arrested.
preserved in amber. Like, what's
Yeah,
the
right.
secret?
It was really cool because when I met Carrie Ellis and Michael Rooker from Days of Thunder, they charge extra for custom items. So in other words, you can go there and pay $60 for their autograph, but you're getting their autograph on like a 5x10 or 8x10 or whatever it is that they have there to sell you to put their autograph on. But if you want their autograph on something that you're bringing, it's usually more. And I think like with Carrie Ellis, it cost me like an extra $60 or something to get him to sign the Days of Thunder stuff. Sergeant Slaughter went there. It was $100 for the autograph and the picture. And not Puzzler. Yep, got Puzzler.
That's probably the best GoBot I got.
Yeah,
I had the orange arm. That's all I had. Fuzzler.
It's lost to time now because the entire website crashed and came back. But the old version of the Allspark back in the day, there was a very detailed review of Puzzler that I remember that really got me interested in it because, at the time, nobody on the Allspark really knew too much about GoBots. So this guy was like, I have all of them mint in box that I found. Let's unbox them and do this detailed look over at them. So yeah, Puzzler's one that I really know because of that.
Puzzler's interesting because he was, unlike a lot of the mainline GoBots, he was actual cars. Like they were actual, makes and models of cars, not just a made up car.
Yeah, doesn't one of them has Sunstreaker's head and also changes into like the same model car as Sunstreaker? I think. Yep. Yeah.
Pretty much. Yeah, it's a different scale, but yeah, pretty much.
Well, the other thing that I was always impressed about with Puzzler, I didn't know anyone who had him growing up, but I believe in terms of him being a combiner, all the parts are built into each of the vehicles, unlike Transformers, where you need the parts in order for them to combine, with a few exceptions.
With Puzzler, the main connection is the lights on the police car. That's kind of once you get the two halves of them, it just kind of connects down onto the lights of the police car, and that's what makes your connection. And in finding
Yeah,
those in one piece is getting to be harder and harder from what I understand. I don't know. I've had
and
mine for years, but
I had to piece that one together because the lights were broken off of the police car. I actually had to buy that piece off of another one that was broken, but the lights were connected. So I had to Frankenstein them together. So I had a working piece. But yeah, the hands are within each of the cars, and of course the feet it's just their feet. They got
Yeah,
some
it's just
big ass
basically
feet when they're in robot form.
So James says, my favorite GoBots were Leader 1, Turbo, Heatseeker, Crasher, Fedor, and Scooter. My favorite was a Smallfoot. Professor D says, yeah, to make toys, Moody Blue Seeker is great. Improved, as Anthony said. We are teaming up to do the overdue expose iceberg on Blue Seekers. Stay tuned.
Yeah. Oh, let me show this little sticker off here. So does everybody here know what the Slurpee run is? Has that lore reached America, or is it only known to like locally? Because I got this sticker for taking part in that.
oh, cool.
Yeah, I got a sticker too, although I was only in there for like maybe 30 seconds. I was there just when they started marching from the hotel.
Yeah, so the Slurpee run is basically a parade at this point where a boatload of people gather in front of the hotel. The guy who runs it there, Goober, gives some speeches and whatnot, and then we march like 20 minutes away to a gas station to go get Slurpees. But like they play music and they hand out stickers, and somebody was there doing balloons, and everybody has to go get their Slurpees, and then they all come back to the hotel. It's really festive, and I'd never done that before, and the movie, by the way, did just turn out to be the 86 movie, so I was kind of like, am I sticking around, am I not? I was like, maybe I'll go home, and then I saw they were doing that outside, and I was like, okay, I guess it's time for me to do this for the first time. Apparently it was earlier than usual this year, which is why I happened to spot it as they were getting ready to take off. So yeah, I got a chance to do that.
Yeah. So, let me tell you how it started. So, Goober, this is all about Goober and his colorful Slurpees. So, he, at the time, he was living in Montreal where they don't have Slurpees. They have slushies over there. And when he comes to TFCON, because it's in Toronto, there was a 7-Eleven up the hill from the hotel, and we would do a little march. And every year we'd get another person and a couple more people. And then eventually this year, they were up to 69 pilgrims.
Nice. Yeah.
Marching all the way down to the gas station, which is no longer 7-Eleven. They go down to the local, whatever it is now. I'm not sure what gas station it is.
Yeah, I don't even remember. It's not important.
Not important. But I
important.
posted this speech here. Yeah, and that's a big thing every year. It's like, it's so interesting. It's like bigger than some panels. Some people go for the panel. Some people go for the dealer room and exclusive. Some people go for the Slurpee run. It's hilarious.
Yeah. I took a bunch of video while I was there, and we have that somewhere to look at eventually.
Yeah. Another thing this year is, I think it was Zoidberg was making balloon animals. Yeah. And having these balloon swords was the theme, right? So we're all carrying these swords. And I was given one, and the thing was like, you leave it somewhere for someone who might, need a smile in their face when they leave. So in the hotel closet for the housekeeping, and for me it was, I left it in the back of my Uber driver, so you had some.
Yeah, that's the big speech on the hill after we'd reached the gas station, being given by Goober and Ninjatron and a few other people, and I'm just in the audience recording it. Yeah.
It's very triumphant, this speech.
Yeah. I assure you it was inspirational. Yeah. Yeah, so that was a unique experience, and if they keep doing it early, I will probably continue taking part. But it was early enough that I wasn't wiped out like I usually am on a Saturday.
Well, slippery ones are fun.
Yeah, because you gotta get, as a dealer, you gotta get there mad early to set up. So that was a real midnight oil type of day.
Yes, that was Saturday. On Friday was everything was like so mushed together. It's hard to decipher what happened what day. But Friday we had a great day too. Even just setting up and like the couple of the panels that were happening Friday.
Yeah, yeah.
Dinner was great. If you guys remember who we were sitting next to at the dinner
Yeah.
table.
It was a slow rollout because a bunch of us went to dinner at the steakhouse across from the convention hall, and I was sitting there and I was looking, and I think it was our friend Philippe who pointed out that Simon Furman was sitting across from us, and then we were like, wait, that's Bob Budiansky next to him, and then we were like, okay, so we saw Jim Sorensen on the way in. And then somebody else was like, "Oh, and by the way, if you look at your 1 o'clock, Stan Bush is over there." So like half the guests like all went to this restaurant at like the same time as us.
Mhm.
Like I was like, I'm not gonna bother anybody, but like, geez, everybody's here right now.
Cool.
you-
Prime Dynamics, yes. And I think I'll throw this over to you, Anthony. Fair Courage. I wonder what a GoBots Beast Wars show would look like.
Also, you were muted, Deceptikitty. I couldn't hear you while you were talking.
I know.
GoBots Beast Wars show. Well, they would all be a lot smaller for one thing. The animation. Does Hanna-Barbera do CGI?
Does Hanna-Barbera still
exist anymore?
That's a good question. I'm like, it would be animated by some company that was not Mainframe in the '90s, but was like Mainframe's counterpart.
Well, I mean, the irony, because Transformers, G.I. Joe, and everything exists due to Reagan, it's the reason why Hanna-Barbera no longer exist.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
It wouldn't look much different, really, because GoBots did have a lot of animal and insect-based characters. Off the top of my head, like Pincher. Most of them were on the Renegade side, but yeah, they did have a lot of like insect-based characters. Pincher's the only one I can think of off the top of my head, honestly.
Yeah, I was just watching Vangelis's live stream, and he was showing off a couple of GoBots, and there was a scorpion. Is that the Pincher?
I think.
I'm not sure how to take that statement there. The Vangelis audience sends blissful glizzy. Okay.
All right. Hey, Vangelis audience, thank you so much. Sideways.
Mm-hmm.
I think we're getting raided. I think that's how
this
goes.
We are getting raided.
Oh, there we go. All right. Hello, new people.
Hey, Strange Four. I know you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All hail Emperor Nova and his we're being offered hot dogs. That's what that statement means.
More hot dogs.
Icon Underground, eh?
Right on. Scorp was the name of that GoBot. That's the Scorpion. You know,
Scorp. Vamp was another one.
Cool.
Now you said that, it triggered it. Yeah. Because I'm such a car nerd, I got to collect all the cars before I get all the insects, and Pincher's the only one I got.
Yeah, Slurpee 1 was super fun. Yeah. I got video because somebody was just playing the Beast Machines theme on the boombox at one point. It was just like techno music while we were walking. RJ Eagle says, I only remember Puzzler in one episode and he got his butt kicked. I've heard of that. I've heard despite being like a big centerpiece in the line, he wasn't on the show very much.
Wow.
That was the deal with a lot. They had so many characters. Like, I had a buddy who gave me Roadmaster? No. It's a red and blue semi-truck, very small. He kind of gives you Prime vibes, but gave me him, and I never recognized him from like anywhere. And when I looked him up, he was in one episode. There were so many GoBots that only were featured in one episode because the line was so huge.
Yeah, I think Sunbow might have done a better job of promoting the cast like at a consistent basis. Yeah, Kobe makes. I was going to say, Sheba Kobe made a good point. With the annual Slurpee one wonders how the gas station even changed from a 7-Eleven. Because, like, once a year, they get, like, mad business. Like, it was a Petro-Canada. Not the same, but good enough, says Ninjatron. Yeah.
Actually, I prefer the Petro-Canada Slurpees there. They have more variety. Like they have a Crush one, and I always mix it up too. So by the time I get back, it's
Mhm.
like it starts off as a rainbow, and then by the time I get back, it's all like melding together the colors.
Yeah, they were like, listen, there's one person on cache right now. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna form a line. We're gonna let like 2-3 people in at once. Nobody's gonna give anybody a hard time or be difficult. That's how we're gonna handle this. And then it turned out fine eventually.
Yeah. Hey, Alexi Silver, Road Rager. Oh, I've jumped ahead too far.
We're reporting from the future. The usual 7-Eleven closed down. Why though? Ah well. Alexis Silver says I lost my Slurpee sticker. I'm hanging on to mine. Rock Lords with fur. Yeah,
that would be funny.
That's what Beast Wars would have. That's what GoBots Beast Wars would have been. Hanna-Barbera got taken over by Warner Brothers, really. Yeah. I was going to say, the reason Beast Wars GoBots is an impossibility is because, like, Tonka got bought up in, like, the early 90s, I think. Or at least...
1991.
Yeah. So that would have to have, like, not happened for any sort of Beast Wars competitor to emerge. In fact, Ninjatron's excellent Generation 2 panel that he did on the Sunday pointed out how, like... they were trying to Hasbro was trying to sort of exercise the fact that they owned GoBots during Generation 2. So there was a guy who was just named GoBots, plural, for some reason. And, yeah, they're like, we have the copyright now. Look, we named a random guy that. And then they made the little Matchbox 7-Eleven size guys. They call... 7-Eleven. What am I saying? I'm mixing things up. The little Matchbox size cars... they were named GoBots also because they were like, we need to exert control over this. Oh, Trickster, hi. Need to figure out how to make it display my handle and not the whole channel name. I don't know. The thing of being here is I never have to figure out that half of it.
We know it's you. How are you, Trickster?
Impactor Productions. Will you people quit sending glizzies? No, send me more. I'll never turn down free food.
More. And like the video and subscribe to the channel.
Yeah.
Oh, James Coleman says Scorp Vamp and Pincher. That's what I was going to mention earlier. Is that James Coleman? We met up with him on the Friday, and he joined us for dinner there with all the guests.
Yeah.
Surrounded by the guests. Yeah, it's awesome.
Which actually was quite amazing on the Saturday. As we walked in and we were setting up, James Coleman was the first person to be in line for TFCON. In front of everyone. I'm like, that's dedication. And he's coming about 4 hours away from Windsor, Ontario to hang out at TFCON.
I always feel like such a jerk when I'm like setting up on like Friday or Saturday because I will pass by all these people in line, and because I got the dealer badge, I just walk right past. And I'm like, I swear I'm here for like business because I got to go set up. I'm not just like skipping the line.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was my. Hey, Boxer.
Now I finally join.
Oh,
there you are.
Oh, hey, Impactor.
I like
headphone warning. Headphone warning.
Yeah, sent you the,
it was my first year being
the links to the 3 posts I did. So there was the first post was showing off how I got the blasters packed in behind his shoulders and in his backpack. So they're instead of being like this with the gap, it's like this filled in. And then the other 2 are the next post is like the 2 vertical shots I got, so portrait orientation. And then the last one is the one that I had the screenshot of the stream. And then well, I won't say what my phone saw this guy as a stag beetle looks like. If you hear the music included on the post, you'll get the joke with the last picture.
All right.
Okay.
There's a screen capture of my phone saying what it saw this guy is as a stag beetle. A type of citrus fruit. What type of citrus fruit do you think my phone saw he is?
Not watermelon, which isn't a citrus fruit.
a lime.
Watermelons are not citrus fruits. Oranges are.
To give you a clue,
I got some
SpongeBob.
juicy TFCon news for me.
Oh, do tell.
Oh, what happened?
So the TFCon that I'm going to in Baltimore Optimus Prime Peter Cullen will be joining.
Right on. That's in September 22nd, TFCon Baltimore. Cool.
Nice.
November. For me, it's November 1st to 3rd.
Oh, so but that wouldn't be TFCon necessarily, would it?
Well, it says TFCon and everything.
And in
Interesting.
Baltimore, because there's a TFCon in September in Baltimore.
Well, maybe they're
Let me look this
connected
up
or
real quick.
something.
I don't
Is
want
it
to provide the viewers with fake info.
You know what?
Yeah, you
I'm
might wanna-
mistaking.
Might
I'm
want to
mistaking.
recheck your dates on that.
No, it's my mistake. Ontario's Collectors Con is in September, and the Baltimore one. You're right. It has changed
is
from October
correct.
to November. That's right. Okay.
You know, and
I also, sorry.
oh, I was gonna say, I know, but behind or offline, Toy Warp had asked myself or the rest of us to ask the main guy of TFCon, Colin, in terms of the upcoming American dates. And so I asked him quickly, and he said, well, the Toronto one is always in Toronto, but the US ones travel between cities. So unfortunately, there isn't an upcoming Orlando one. So they had done it in order where I believe it was like Chicago, then Orlando, and then Baltimore, the LA one. But then, you know, the upcoming ones, it could be whatever city they decide for the future.
Baltimore's the closest to me, so that's where I'll be going.
Yeah. I mean, I guess it makes sense to
And-
travel around the country.
State
hit
are
all the
you in? Are
different
you in the
places.
DMV area, the DC, Maryland,
I'm in
Virginia?
Pennsylvania.
Okay.
I'm in-
so-
I'm
Cool.
in
Oh,
Pennsylvania.
you have my deepest sympathy. I always remember whenever I went to Michigan or Ohio and drive through Pennsylvania, they're like all their speed limits are like 10 miles below the rest of the country. So on their interstate, unless it's changed, it's like 55 miles per hour on the interstate on the highway, whereas everywhere else it's 65. Well, North Dakota you can pretty much go as fast as you want if you're in the country, but.
Deceptikitty, do you like swamp water Slurpees? I'm not totally sure what they mean by that statement. So.
Oh,
Yeah.
when they all
Also,
get
what-
mixed together.
Mhm.
Right.
Also, what was
Like-
up with the glizzy thing?
Glizzy,
Because
yeah,
I think we got raided by Vangelis, which
We
if you're
got-
still here, shout out.
totally. Yeah, hey everyone from Vangelis stream. That's awesome. Thanks for joining us.
Oh,
Mhm.
that's a blast from the past.
I also have been getting some more customs in my team. For an instance, a custom scrounge.
Oh,
Ooh, nice.
that's an impressive idea. That's a hubcap body?
Indeed, custom hubcap with blue eyes.
Oh, yeah, I like that.
I went for the last stand of Wreckers look. Back then, I wanted to have the Wreckers, so, well, just painted his eyes blue.
Yeah, because the actual figure just does like a toy face where they were also orange. Also, that's a blast from the past from Icon Underground. It's like it felt like the stuff Ouija used to do, but with more order and respect for property.
For me, I'm right now trying to build the melted effect for his legs because I loved like the old school comics, and so with me and my growing thirst for comics,
What does the
decided
swamp
to-
water thing mean?
it's
Oh,
just-
Is
Just when you
maybe
mix
that's a-
different flavors together, that
Or
should
is-
mixed
okay.
together.
Is that an acronym for jungle juice? Because
Don't
that
pay
also
attention
could be
to
a
this,
thing.
but this is why I
At
drew back
TFCon.
then. I did an Into the Smelting Pit cover,
Oh, nice.
Oh yeah, Budiansky said at the show that was his favorite
and
issue.
I did an
so-
All You're All Dead.
Yeah.
But this was a while back. Now I'm a lot better at drawing.
Cool.
Yeah. By the way, I
You
did.
kept that. Though.
We,
Yeah, it's awesome.
we never got a concrete answer to this, but during the Budiansky Furman panel, I asked a question because it was something I was specifically curious about. Because they were talking about how Budiansky left the comic in like 1989, right?
Hmm.
And so what I asked him was, okay, so you did basically you named and wrote bios for nearly every toy except for some of the movie guys. But there was a whole nother year and change of the toy line after you left. Were those guys also done by you, or did somebody else do them? And he said he honestly didn't know, but that he had a huge backlog when he left, so they might have all been him. What he specifically said is if you show him like a 1990 character profile, he could probably tell you if he named and wrote it or not.
Yeah.
So we have to get those to him at some point.
Exactly.
One of those little tiny things that probably like 5 people think about, and I'm one of them. So
I'm with you there, Anya. Because I'm usually the person who tries to think of the smaller questions.
yeah.
And also, I'm trying to do the Bumblebee movie scene, Cybertron scene, so I need to come up with a creative way for a Cybertron and Bumblebee. So I just took Jeep Bumblebee's head off and his gun, and well, it perfectly fits.
Oh, now that's like that's a what is it? The Age of Extinction figure?
It's the TLK reissue for Age of Extinction.
Yeah. Well, that looks really that blends really well. It makes the whole thing look better because that guy had like a weird face, so you gave him like the more standard Bumblebee face. That like looks really good actually.
And I'm not sure about the gun yet because, well, the gun basically in the scene, he doesn't show his like hand, and well, you can see the underside of his hand. So I might just maybe leave it with the original flip out gun. I'm not sure. Not to mention, if I just put on the gun again, it's a weird pose kind of. But it gives me more of the automorphing technology because the hand kind of flips out to fit the gun, giving it that optical illusion kind of.
Yeah. Do I have anything else here that I haven't shown off? Yeah, I randomly got a Studio Series 86 Ratchet, which I had no plans to get because somebody was at my table and they were just like, hey, listen, I got like a Ratchet and an Ironhide in a bag here I'm just trying to get rid of for like $30 each. And I was like, oh, heck yes, I'll jump on that.
I'm excited. I just saw on Hasbro Pulse the 86 Ratchet and Brawn Dead Pack.
I love how dark that friggin'... They have like the one of the stock images is Braun getting shot in the shoulder, like because he has the blast effect there on the toy, and then one of those shots is both of them like on their backs, legs in the air, with like blast effects coming out of their chest. I'm like, Jesus Christ!
And this means we only need Prowl left, and that's the only character I've been waiting for because I'm either getting him or the next other Prowl.
They did Prowl and Ironhide in a previous shuttle pack.
Well, I'm
Ironhide Prowl is
surprised.
cheaper.
I'm surprised they haven't done Wheeljack and Cliffjumper yet.
Wheeljack and Windcharger.
Right.
Windcharger, yes.
Windcharger. I think those will come out in the future, but I'm still waiting for the Prowl because, well, Earthrise Prowl is hard enough to get. Earthrise Ironhide is cheaper, shockingly, by some instance, and then, well, the only closest Prowl I'll ever get is Generations throwing the reissue. I forget what type of series it's. It's the Prowl that usually a lot of people have.
Earthrise Prowl.
And I also did some digging. And I found my custom Nightbird again.
Oh, Nightbird, eh? Oh, you made him out of a Earthspark Twitch.
Yeah.
Nice.
Since I had a duplicate of Twitch, I just did the best thing, just turn her into Nightbird, and which I honestly think doesn't look that bad.
Yeah.
Well, Mr. Magnus also has.
Oh yeah, there's the other dead pack, the Prowl Ironhide one. Just with the blast effects. People are like a little mad about that because regular.
How many dead buys have they recreated by now? They've already did
Quite a few.
They did Optimus first, and then
several times.
Optimus, well, I'm talking about Earthrise Prime because, like, yep, those are the images.
Look at
I'm questioning if it's an optical illusion or like a printed piece of paper that they put behind Ratchet because I don't know if there's a port behind Ratchet besides that one singular dot on the back of each of these characters.
That's a good question. I need to Oh wait, I have Ironhide. It's the same tool.
Richard says hello, everyone.
I don't know how they did that in that photo because he doesn't have an obvious port on the back of him.
It could be an add-on.
Yeah, maybe they retooled it, or maybe the blast effect can do that.
You might want to take a look at the other product shots for Ironhide Prowl for the Dead Pack, because maybe they could have done the same thing. I feel like it. And then I have both, of course, Ironhide and Ratchet here for Siege.
Yeah. I was going to say, if they ever do, like, Dead Wheeljack and Windcharger, they already did Netflix Wheeljack, whose whole thing was he was messed up. So, like, they just reissued this guy for, like, yet again.
Did anybody think of Ironhide like having this like flat chest? Because a lot of my friends like left it like this, and I just discovered later on after I got him that you could do this and it looks more better.
You weren't the only one. A lot of people didn't know that at the time, if I recall.
Like I was one of the only people, and my friends and everybody questioned why did I leave it like that.
Yeah. So there's the default Brawn. So the version that comes with that Ratchet there has
has that
looks
blast
horrified.
effect. They just added a blast effect.
Yeah.
And well, we need Earthrise Prowl, basically.
Yeah, right there. You can see the nub.
I'm wondering what they're gonna do for Proud this time because it's gonna be a lot of weird stuff they're gonna do to have to go through. Okay, that's the closest you'll get. Maybe you could get a Lego Technic joint and try and do some maneuvering to try and
That is
connect
funny.
it with his arm.
Yeah. So the only difference then is that the shuttle ambush one has a new face where he looks horrified because he's dying. Isn't it charming?
I think
also for what
I like this one. I like this set partially because like I'm a big fan of Ratchet, and like that's an awesome
Who
scene
isn't a
with
fan of
Ratchet.
Ratchet?
Yeah, in the
Also, are
Transformers
you
movie.
watching the A6 movie in your background, Decepticitty?
So to catch up on the comments, Shiva Kobe says, by the way, I stuffed a new comic in the Children of Primus Facebook page. So it'd be cool if we don't get to it today. I know next week we got to get back to doing our voiceovers for comics because those were fun.
Totally
and
fun.
Have you guys, who has a voiceover for Soundwave?
Yeah, I suppose.
Because I have a very good voiceover for my Soundwave.
I was waiting until it was getting dark to take him in, so...
Cool. So what does Magnus have there?
You have that Starscream. No, I got it.
Yeah. Huh? Yeah. Okay.
You have Earthrise Starscream, while I have Coronation Starscream. I think I'm going to buy the G1 reissue of Starscream just for the Megatron gun.
That was a question that we were wondering: is how many of those? It comes with like Shockwave,
Either have
Megatron.
them all or just one of them. If anything, I'm guessing people are mostly gonna buy Starscream, but by my guess is people might just buy all three of them.
So, Fear of Courage picked up this set with Megatron and that Coronation
cat.
Starscream chair with Soundwave and
I gotta show that off.
Yeah,
That's the thing.
yeah.
So that was the thing that I tried to go there for, and I figured every dealer would have it. They did not. And in fact, it was like the random side people that had it. Dramatic Capture series. Look at how shiny this Megatron is. It's just like purely painted silver.
Oh my goodness!
Yeah. So this is the Earthrise
That's
one.
like cell. You could practically put that into the terms of cell shadedness.
Yeah. So this is Earthrise Megatron in animation accurate silver, and you got the Starscream chair, and you got
Makes even more perfect.
Yeah, Seed.
Oh, you got the
Shockwave.
You got the 3-pack.
Yeah, Seed Shockwave. He doesn't have his parts because that's not animation accurate, and they repainted him. And then you got a Netflix Soundwave that is not yellowed and has a bit more silver on him, and laser beaks in his chest. It is a really good-looking set in person. Like, even this guy, who they barely changed, looks so much better with, like, the silver on his limbs, and he has red paint on this that he didn't before. Yeah. This was the thing that I was there to get, and I'm glad that I got it.
Nice.
And
I'm getting the Legacy Soundwave because I don't like... I mean, I like my Earthrise Soundwave and all, but I need an Earth mode Soundwave. I think I'll just buy 2 and paint the laser beak and the buzz onto a laser beak, and then turn the Soundwave into a custom shower glass, since shower glass Soundwave is hard enough to get.
Before it starts getting too dark, I want to show, like, there's a picture I took in this tree. There, it fell out into all this shit. And I was cut out all of this thicket looking for it, and then it turns out the one sword to shard was right by my damn left foot. I'm like,
Yeah, like, whenever I drop things in the house, I'm like, I have to find them immediately, because what's going to happen is the cats will bat them until they're under something. So as soon as something, if I drop a part, I got to drop everything I'm doing and immediately go get it.
I guess if I'm out here, I'll show the other spots I shot the pictures at. So this plant. So one at the bottom.
Just hear the random car horn.
That. And then all the pink flowers is from this. And then there's the tree was with the pineapple. Or my phone saw that he was a pineapple. I mean, he was a pineapple, was here. Then the other one is in the backyard. All the way in the backyard by the garage.
This is
It
very
was-
chaotic.
Here.
I agree with you.
This is a Blair Witch
Earlier,
project.
There was a bright sunlight backlighting stuff, so it
Yeah, I'm
actually
worried
could
we're
see
gonna
what the
see
hell you were
Welcome to
looking
the
at.
mind of SETTOM box, children.
I'm worried we're gonna see something monstrous like come out of nowhere and suddenly your feed's gonna cut off.
It's like,
All of a sudden, Siren.
Yeah, are
Head or
you showing us
Slenderman
when you
just
took these
appears
pictures,
out
or
of
is this
nowhere.
footage from Cloverfield?
Wait.
There was,
I got 3 options for you. Which you want to see happen?
In
Which one you
Ohio,
see
there's
box?
a supposed to be like
Which you want to
human-sized
see?
frogs.
Siren Head, Nemesis
Monsters
Prime,
is one of
or
our urban
Slenderman?
monsters, and then
hold on,
Nemesis
Impactor.
there's supposed to be one of our local urban monsters. In like Southwest Ohio, it's like human-sized frogs, so frogmen.
Are you
And-
referring to the frog monster from Scooby-Doo 2010?
No, well, it could be based off that the monster I'm thinking of. But then there's also on the way to one of the 2 local malls, someone has a wooden cutout of a Sasquatch. And there is somewhere not maybe an hour
just
from
has
me
everything.
where there's supposed to be a Sasquatch that's been sighted over the years.
Ohio just has everything.
Well, you know when they,
No
they
wonder
was
why
having that.
Skibidi Toilet infirms the area.
Well, they had that meme for a while where it's like Ohio wasn't real, and people were acting like Ohio's freaking Narnia.
I remember
That is
that.
practically true.
I tend to believe that sometimes.
Because there's this guy who does this entire string of memes, basically, the things you can't do in Ohio. Is that your definition right there?
Wow, that's an angry looking frog.
Turn the frickin' frogs gay!
Alex Jones.
People tuning in would be like, what are these guys talking about? Scooby-Doo frogs.
That frog looks like you just said like something
They're
really, really
from
insulting to him.
Some of them, even in Japanese cartoons, you have. I can't remember if it's Diver.
That's
I think.
that's the frog creature I'm talking about. That's from the movies that I watched.
Make a transformer out of that.
Maybe a Spittor from
No.
US.
Don't make a transformer out of that.
Too late. There's already been frog transformers in Beast Wars, both organic and transmetal too.
Don't forget. I forget what his name was, but he's in RID.
Spring.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about. He's the
Springload. I
redeco of
won't
the
have Springload as an
transmetal
actual
to
transformer. In my own honesty, he was low on my
Spittor.
favorites for
He's like the
this stuff.
redeco of him.
For
So
me,
what else
I
happened
like.
Saturday
I'll
at
save us
TFCON?
from the frog bit here. Oh my god, frogs.
What you got? What you got?
Ooh.
This the autograph I got from Sergeant Slaughter. What was really
sweet.
cool is that he, when I handed this to him, he just kind of looked down like, "Whoa, what?" And he remembered doing this. Now, my son brought up a really good point that here on the cover you can see he actually does a music video in the video, right? And he's like in the desert surrounded by all these chicks in bathing suits, and he's playing a guitar that kind of looks like the old Budweiser emblem. So, he's playing a guitar like that, and he does a tug of war. And my son is like, okay, he's in the desert with bikini models and playing a guitar, and he does tug of war with Bigfoot. How much cocaine did you do in the 80s exactly? My kid, man.
I think the better assumption is he didn't do any. He's just like that.
Yes.
He's like, man, that is something only that could have come out of the cocaine 80s.
That's awesome. See, that's so cool that you met him this weekend. He's gonna. Oh, go ahead. He's going to be at another convention.
Down when he was on the Street Fighter movie, wasn't he strung out on coke pretty much the whole time they were making that movie?
Yeah, something like $10,000 a day on.
It was almost as much as Blues Brothers.
Oh man, the 80s.
Ohio's definitely
90s,
not
I
Narnia.
guess.
Does anybody want to see some hidden footage of a stop-motion series that will be soon released?
Sure.
We'll get to that.
Yeah. Well, I would say, let's look at the footage, and then we'll get more. We'll jump more into our main topic of TFCON TFCON.
2024.
TFCON was awesome.
Yeah.
So this is some of the hidden footage if my tablet will let it play.
Preview of the next stop motion.
You can do it, little tablet. Shut up, truck
There we
across
go.
the street.
Oh, it's what's his name?
Crosshairs.
Crosshairs, yeah.
Yeah, I got my crosshairs all decked out with like toy hacks and fillers and extra weapons that I bought for them.
Now,
Ooh, nice.
And well, now here comes the part where they're talking. I'm still adding audio. And while it should be eventually finished with it, I have to search up all the audios, so it should be eventually completed.
Did you make your rubble out of candy corn?
What? No,
What?
not candy corn.
Yeah, this is really impressive.
Yeah, great angles too.
I like the.
I had
like
Ratchet use his EMP generator.
Yeah,
cool.
I like this the cinema of Crosshairs driving away and then getting blown away back into the frame.
The cinematography.
Yeah, there you go. It's funny that I'm a writer, but when you actually have me talking, I'm like, what are words?
What are words?
It's a cliffhanger. It's a cliffhanger.
Well, it's not like you're a
right there.
film, like you studied like art history of film or anything like that. I had to, so that's the only reason
I had
know
to
the
use.
term.
I had to use a transformer to at least get exploded by a Starscream, but I used basically whatever type of I forget what type of foam it is, and I just make my blast effects or explosions out of them, or I'll just chop up Nerf darts and make blast effects. For an instance, the one that people have awed in for since I've been doing my stop motions, my Transformers Bumblebee movie, Optimus versus Decepticons.
Oh.
All from the Bumblebee movie when he goes up against Ravage.
Yeah, I immediately recognize where it's from because.
Oh yeah, by the way, Spin, I sent you the links on the Discord, your Discord DM for those three Instagram posts.
But yeah,
That was cool.
That's what a lot of people have agreed was one of my best stop motions with how I was able to do Optimus going up against every Decepticon. I'm still trying to. I need you guys to help me out in finding Seekers. It is impossible for me to find any Seekers besides, well,
We found a
I don't
special
need-
Seeker this year, actually.
You have.
I'm going to TFCON, and the goal is for me is to find Twin Twist Topspin, Trigger Happy, and any Seekers, and a Studio Series, Dark of the Moon Soundwave, and Roadbuster.
Yeah.
These
Trigger
are the
Happy
only Seekers
shouldn't-
I have.
Trigger Happy shouldn't be too hard to get.
Well, for me, it's super hard
I
on
can't remember, is
eBay,
it
followed
Twin
by me
Twist or
trying to
Top
find them.
Spin? That's the expensive one. That got the
Honestly,
record
you'd be
redeco.
better off getting G1, Topspin, and Twin Twist because they're just everywhere. I definitely saw at least one table at the convention that actually just had a row of them. Like,
Yep.
I know, but I'm trying to still think about if I can get them, because if I can't find them when I go there to Baltimore, I'm just going to try my best and just get the G1s maybe. I'm still thinking of it.
Are you staying in the hotel at the Baltimore convention?
No, we're going there for a day and that's it.
Oh yeah, okay.
better make that day count.
Because we
Yeah, for
can't be
real.
there for like the entire time. We have stuff that we have to do.
Okay.
Here's
And
the
I've
thing
also
about me
got
and
5
TFCon.
minutes, so I'll be here for like 5 more minutes and then I'll say goodbye to you guys.
It would make geographic sense for me to get a hotel because it's about an hour's drive for me to get there. So I gotta drive for an hour in the morning, drive for an hour in the evening, right? But like I'm a dealer, I make cash while I'm there, and ideally it's been every year since I've been a dealer, I leave the convention in the green money wise, even with the robots I get. And so if I got a hotel based on those prices, that would immediately shoot that plan just into impossibility.
I'm a consumer.
Yeah. So I'm like, I guess I just got to do the hour drive, even though I should really get a hotel because that's the only way I leave this financially secure, basically.
I mean, when you
And
think
also-
about it, an hour drive is kind of the average, you know, in depending where you live and work, like many people, 45 to an hour, if you're lucky enough to work from home or nearby. But that's an average drive time Monday to Friday for most anyways. So
Yeah,
no
sure.
point
Yeah,
getting the
that's not
hotel.
bad.
Yeah.
That's not bad at all, because like those, I know I mentioned it to Professor D before, how before COVID I used to shoot a lot of photography of classical Indian dance and music performances, and that was like the one time
I
in the
thought you
month.
were about to say the Indian music meme.
But that was the one place I had to drive through every month. But I would get paid at least a minimum of $200 for like 2 hours, and that was them deciding the price to give me that much money. That wasn't me telling them to give it. And then there was a festival during June, which was like 11 hours on Saturday, 9 hours, and I made like I don't remember, a lot more than 200. And then DK might know from the Indian side of his family that 10-day festival, Navaratri, however you say it. And I would make a killing those 10 days. It's a 10-day festival. Yes, well, at least for them it was, my friends. So, but I made a good amount of extra money that time of year.
Cool. Yeah, it was my first year being a dealer at TFCON, and I did surprisingly well. But there was a lot of people this year, so yeah, that wasn't so
Well,
difficult.
TFCON usually brings in a giant group of people, and with
So
my
many people this
TFCon
year,
being
so many
having
people.
Pierre Cullen in it, I'm guessing there's going to be a lot of people.
There's probably going to be a lot too, yeah.
Oh, for sure.
We were looking
And
at
also-
the population of Mississauga versus Baltimore, and we were surprised to find that Mississauga has actually almost twice the population of Baltimore, I think.
Really?
Yeah.
Could have fooled me.
Well, people I'm guessing
Right?
will be traveling all over to get here.
Yes. For
Okay.
sure. Yeah.
No, I know.
There aren't a lot of cities in Canada. I mean, isn't there a lot more empty land in Canada compared to, well, the U.S. has its empty areas too. But,
Yes.
I mean,
My
there's a
area is
lot
nothing
more
but
population density in your guys'
warehouses.
cities.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't
now,
get what's up with my area.
now I have a question for everyone, and I know Mr. Oladi and myself, we were debating on this, so I'm going to throw this question to the Americans. Toy Warp, do you know where Mississauga is?
Nope.
Mr.
I do not
Magnus.
either.
Okay, so Impactor Toy Warp doesn't. SETTOM BOCKS, do you know where Mississauga is?
I heard the
going
name
over
before,
his
but
head.
yeah.
And Mr. Magnus, do you know where
I know it's
Mississauga
not
is?
Mississippi.
So too bad Mr. Orlati was not here, because it proves the point of what I was saying, why they kind of keep the name of TFCON Toronto, because everyone in the world knows Toronto somewhat, but Mississauga
I know
is
Toronto for its
Is
crazy
that a
stuff.
Native American
Exactly.
name, by the way?
Yeah.
I mean, Native
Mhm.
American word. Yeah,
Mhm, it is.
I
Yeah.
figured. And I know I said it before. I said it again. In Central Virginia, pretty much, if it's not named after something in Britain, it's named after something Native American.
To be fair, what qualifies as Toronto and what qualifies as not Toronto is really nebulous in Ontario.
It
But
is.
that sprawl just kind of keeps going, and where it ends and where it starts sometimes depends on like who you ask, and sometimes an address will say it's in Toronto, sometimes an address will say whatever region it is, and it's the same address. So yeah, there's more justification to calling it TFCON Toronto than you might think.
Oh, both,
I also need to ask you
both
guys a
Toronto
question.
and Mississauga.
Cool.
Do I dare paint my tarn that is now incomplete? I lost, sadly, my his two like antenna things.
Oh, bludgeon. I thought you said tarn, but you meant
Not
bludgeon.
tarn.
That's a bit more debatable. He's hard to find. If you had a tarn, I'd say go ahead and paint him, because he's supposed to get reissued like in the final wave of Legacy, so he'll be easy to get. But bludgeon, oof. I don't know. That's not easy to replace.
Well, I'm not like paying everything on. I'm just like paying the things that they didn't pay. Like for an instance, the silver iron is like toe area.
Oh, okay. Well, if you're just detailing them up, that's hard to mess up. I do that with Gundam markers myself sometimes.
And also, for whatever you're seeing here is also going to be my idea on what if the Wreckers and DJD collaborated.
Mm-hmm.
God, that's a scary thought.
Yeah, I
Something
know.
really messed up for them to team up.
Well, in my series, I have the Decepticons are dispersed. Shockwave has dropped down as leader, and Megatron has already died. by Starscream, and Tarn starts to become a peaceful person and trying to help out the Autobots, kill off the remnants of the Decepticons, and then join up with the Autobots, making like the Shatterglass possibility come into forth, since Shatterglass Tarn somehow in the I forget what universe it is, intertwines with Transformers' comic book series something. I'm trying to remember what's from.
Professor D's comment. Run away, Impactor, before he tries to put you in a Pokemon ball.
Professor D, I have some questions because I do have all wreckers in my designated location protecting me 24/7. I have Impactor over here as artillery. I have Bulkhead managing the streets. I have Rotostorm managing the skies, and then I have Rack and Ruin right outside my front door.
Cool. So let's
check out what Deceptikitty's got.
Yeah, let's go over to Deceptikitty.
Okay,
Wesley Wood comic.
So this is Metal Gear Solid comics. So, but getting back to the convention story about meeting Paul Lighting in BotCon 2010, this is the comic I just so happen to have on me, and I'm a big fan of Metal Gear Solid, and this is what I asked Paul Lighting to sign immediately, either before or after Toy Warp over here walked up to him. Now this is like 14-15 years ago, and like 14-15 years later, between Mississauga and Florida, we've somehow connected through this Transformers community, and I just think that's so awesome.
Well, hey, that's the wonderful thing about Transformers. All of us can relate in some way.
You know, what's really cool beyond that, too, is when I re-met Paul at HeroCon, I believe it was early last year, where Victor Corelli was originally supposed to, meet Victor Corelli. He remembered me from BotCon 2010.
Yeah,
like, that is insane.
That is awesome.
Like, he remembered exactly where we were, what we were doing, what we said, you know? That's really cool.
He's a cool guy. He is so cool, Paul. Yeah.
Yeah. Like I saw during the panel, like he's very sharp still, which is wonderful. Like he immediately understood. Oh, you're talking about Paul Eating. Sorry, I was thinking of Victor Crowley.
Oh yeah.
Which is a true statement too, because he's very sharp.
I have a cool story about Victor Corelli as well. Actually, a couple of funny stories about him. Okay, let's get to it. So on
yeah, well, I want to hear.
Yeah, I have so many stories of TFCON. So let's stick to TFCON and the other convention. That Sunday night, it was the end of the show, and like, you know, everyone's winding down, and that's pretty much the end of the excitement. You know, it was just like, okay, it's nice to see everyone. I'll see you later type of time. And then Victor Corelli is speaking with someone, and he's with his wife, and he's literally just on his way up to the hotel room. It's been a long con. And he's like, you can clearly see it in his face. He's like, yep, I'm done. And so I had a card of some of my boxes that I was bringing up from the dealer table. And I was literally still sweating from packing all these boxes. And like, I was like not feeling it. I was exhausted too. So I kind of huff over and I'm like, hey, excuse me, Mr. Corelli, can I get a selfie with you real quick? And he kind of pauses for a second, rolls his head over to me. All right. And in that voice, and I'm like, all right. So I got a couple of selfies with him that night, and I thought that was great. That was the end of my con. I had a good con. I got that selfie in. And I also wanted, because Toy Warp got a similar selfie, and he had an awesome experience with Victor Corelli, so I wanted to have a similar experience as well. And then the following morning, I get back to the convention center, and I'm just there hanging out and having breakfast with Goober, and there's Victor Corelli sitting. He sits down with his wife just behind us, and so Goober has met him, and he knew him really well already. So we went to talk to him, and I was just kind of hanging back. But after their breakfast, Victor Corelli's wife just went off to get some things just before they were going to head off to the airport. And I had stopped him, and I started to talk to him because he was just sitting there waiting. And he said some really cool things. And I had mentioned that my friend from Florida had a really good experience talking to him at the LA convention. And his wife comes up and interrupts us and says, I bet you would love a photo with him. And she says, give me your phone. Just get, I didn't know who was behind me. She just says, give me your phone. And I turn around and I bet you love a photo with him. And then she takes a couple of photos with us, and and that's it. They took off on that was a great experience seeing them at the end there, because I didn't get so much opportunities talking with the guests throughout the con, being at a dealer table. So yeah, that was an awesome experience.
Yeah, that's always the great downside of being a dealer, is that you kind of stuck to your table a little bit. It was funny because, like, okay, I left on Sunday, tired as hell. I had work the next day, like most people on a Monday.
Same here.
You know, and so I'm just trying not to die that whole first day. And meanwhile, you're like, "Oh, I'm at the hotel. I'm at Victor Caroli. I'm hanging out with like Goober and all these people. This is so great." And I'm like, "Oh, wonderful." I mean, I'm happy for you, but I'm just like, oh.
Well, as we swing back to, I mean, before we wrap up, because we still have about 45 minutes. You know, and as with the main topic of being
45 minutes.
You know, wrap up at 45 minutes. With it being TFCON Toronto, being a vendor is, being a vendor, it is difficult. 38 minutes. Thank you. And you know, you kind of have to go in with a game plan of what you want to do and everything, and you know, checking out everything in a sense, being a guest becomes secondary, because you're there to, you know, promote yourself, sell your items, or whatever you're doing. But I mean, first off, I want to say thank you to everyone that was within our table, within our collective. So that goes to Fear of Courage, goes to Deceptikitty, goes to Professor D, goes to Mr. Alati, also goes to my girl, LG, who helped out with the camera and handing out the flyers. So all of us just working as a collective, you know, we made it happen. The cool thing is we did so many hours of live streaming while we were there, and I just want to like also thank everyone that, you know, came over to our table to be interviewed, which Andrew was one of them, another friend of ours who had a different table in a different area, Blossom and Kyle, who I know Deceptikitty got a chance to talk to, Brandon and Bob and Brandon, and Cybertronian Beast from the Transmission podcast. He came over and spoke with us, which on the Sunday at the end, Mr. Alati was a part of the podcast panel in the main room. And we also want to thank let's see, well, we got Fear of Courage on the Saturday stream, Hip Optimus Prime, Macho Magnus, which that was a cool segment.
He threw a Slim Jim at me.
Yes. Yeah, all of us got Slim Jim, so that was cool.
That's a thing that happened. And I was kind of hungry at that point, so I was like, thanks.
Yeah, I bet.
You know, and then we had a few other footages for the Saturday. And then Mr. Alati and LG got a chance to walk through the convention on the Sunday. Just before that, on the Sunday, Deceptikitty had his panel on the Mystery of Convoy Transformers game, which I had built a tabletop arcade style case for that.
That's a
that's
deal.
Something that we've overlooked talking.
Footage of that we can play here, because I took some footage of it.
Well, I mean, well, I wouldn't say unfortunately, we had a huge storm in Toronto on Tuesday, which affected a lot of homes, and the work that I work in, basically our regular 8-hour day has turned into like 12, 13 hours every day since TFCON. So I haven't had a chance to.
From our hurricane that went through here.
That's exactly
I have the
it.
footage anyway, so it's not going anywhere. So once we can get it up, we can get it up.
Yeah.
Cool. So I'm just gonna.
That storm was serious. It was a heavy thunderstorm.
Well, the same storm for us, because we actually drove from the east end of the city to the west end. Within an hour, the water on the downtown highway basically covered the wheels of the pickup truck. And
I got a story on that.
It's just been a disaster.
The power was out for where I am.
We need to talk about that arcade cabinet, because that was something. We got Spin built the wood, right? That was you putting it together. And then Deceptikitty provided all the equipment, and so we had a working arcade cabinet there.
Mm-hmm.
That's the pre-assembled. That's the wooden part of it. with like 2 NES controllers, and people who stopped by our table could just play Deceptikitty's rebuild of Mystery of Convoy.
Yeah.
And
I
yeah,
can't wait to play, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I can't wait to send that out. So yeah, we did a panel. Anthony joined me. We did a great panel that I was so nervous about. I was unbelievably nervous all weekend about that panel. Unfortunately, Anthony held my hand up there, and we flew through it.
It was really funny because you're like, you're like, can you come help me? And I think I said maybe 4 things for that whole hour, and it was mostly just you saying like all this stuff and me just being like, yeah.
You need that build of encouragement. You
just needed a yes man. That's all.
Yeah, that's what I was. I was the yes man for that whole panel. It'll be up eventually. They said it'll probably take a while, but it'll be up on the TFCON channel eventually. So.
Oh, beautiful! I just got a link of the video. So here's a video of. Let's see.
And as we're waiting, oh, never mind.
Yeah, there it is.
Wow.
Yeah, blow that up. Yeah, so eventually we faced the audience proper. Right there, we just had it kind of sideways because we were just getting it set up. But yeah, you can see the second controller there. Somebody was grabbing the first one and just playing that just on top of the table.
Yeah. So after that panel, like people were just lining up to play it, like for the rest of the Sunday. Yeah, that arcade was completely occupied.
Yeah, it's a funny. There was a funny experience while you were gone. Somebody picked it up and played it, and I remember them saying, like, "It's been a while since I played this, but I don't remember there being a health bar." And I was like, "Funny, you should mention that." And
yeah, that's. I actually kind of want people to feel a little bit that way. It's like, don't remember this being quite so fun to play.
Yeah,
but I want to have that same flavor in that game. Also, the whole architecture of these NES cartridges are totally limited, so you can't go very far with them.
That is very true.
My brother's a big retro gamer. He has like all the stuff at his place, and he likes hearing about this kind of stuff. So he's like absolutely in line to get a repro cartridge whenever that exists. So.
Nice.
The oldest for me is Super Nintendo and Nintendo.
Thanks.
We just have the games that have every game basically. We don't have the cartridges.
Nice.
So we just get to play all the OG games, and I grew up with all the OG games, and I'm thankful my parents got to let me relive their times.
Cool.
That's cool.
Cool.
So back to some more of the thank yous. If anyone watching this video, you go back and look at our Saturday and Sunday videos, and they've all been indexed, so you can like skip to different parts. We also. Yeah, we also got
one of them.
I had no idea it was 7 hours because once you're in a convention and just doing stuff, time just kind of flies.
Time flies. Trust me on that. So that plays out here because it's like sun at morning, and then you go to our pool like right around 11 o'clock, and then all of a sudden it feels like 2 hours fly by, and it's 5 o'clock.
So we had the Chosen Prime display, Super Parts Guy display. And a couple of artists and stuff. But another cool interview that we got was Michael Mercy. Thanks to Deceptikitty and Deceptikitty. Tell us the story how that came to be.
It was serendipitous. It was serendipitous. So it was Saturday. I guess I was coming in with another load of boxes from my Uber, and I was just getting some more stuff for my dealer table, and the Uber driver just dumped me at the side of the curb with some boxes, and I was stuck alone with Deceptikitty, my cat, on my shoulder. And this tall guy walks up to me. He's like, "It looks like you need some hand with these boxes." And I said, "Well, yeah, absolutely." So he brought the boxes to the bottom door, which I just found out, that door is locked. So I had to run all the way around to get in and leave my boxes there. And I said, "Thank you so much." And I thought he went on his way, but when I came back to find the boxes, he's still there, and he said, like, "Oh, I couldn't just leave with these boxes just sitting here like that." Like, "Oh, that's so nice of you." And then he helped me bring the boxes into the convention hall right to my dealer table after that. And then I said, "That's really nice of you. What's your name?" He says, "Well, I'm Michael Mercy." And all very gentlemanly like. I said, "Oh, I know you from YouTube." I said, "Wow, thanks so much. Come join our show." And we had a great talk with him, talking about Fortress Maximus and Defensor and our favorite characters. Yeah, he was so great to have on the show.
And it's really like, I really like his calm nature, and just how he said Fortress Maximus, his personality as from the Marvel comics more matches the Bruce Lee type of personality, where it's like, even though he's a bigger character, he can take out the Decepticons. He's that person where he just doesn't want to fight. You keep bothering him, he'll back away. Bother him,
He's
and
the
he'll back
definition
away.
of Streetwise First Aid from Defensor.
Exactly. So, and that's and Michael Mercy was actually impressed with my description of Defensor, the fact that his team works well together, having 2 pacifists and 3 fighters, but they'll still go out and battle. So it was a really, really nice conversation. And then we also had Warren J. It was a younger guy who his dad had 3D printed a custom Bumblebee helmet for him that he was wearing at the convention. And then we also had we were also in the room where Goober was doing his presentation called Traveling as a Transformers Fan, which he was presenting him traveling different places and connecting with people in different countries as a fan of Transformers. And then the end of the night was the podcasters lounge, with the many different podcasters, which we also got to meet, and in the future, we'll get interviews and connect with them. So it was a really fun weekend.
I sorely regret not going to that because I was very burned out and needed to start my tear down. But then I watched the recording and I was like, oh man, I will go next year.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm hoping I get to go out more to these places because I can't travel that much. I have to stick here with my family. I'm still too young.
Yeah, that will change.
That will change.
I never thought I'd be doing this as a dealer, and I used to just go as a person that would
Also,
show
I
up
need to
one
ask
day.
you guys a question. What is TFCon like? Because I am not ready for whatever has in store for me.
Oh, is this your first one?
Is this your
Yes.
That's cool. Awesome.
Okay.
Awesome. Well, we have plenty to talk about.
Because
I will say this.
I legitimately I've watched all my YouTuber friends. Have you guys ever heard of that toy guy?
Yeah, he was
Yes.
there.
Yeah.
At the con.
We've interviewed him.
I watched his entire TFCon video, and I was shocked that one of the people buying like so many first aids. I don't get why people love first aid.
Because
Back when
More Than
before-
Meets the Eye, the comic. He was a main character in that.
And so basically, I watched the entire thing.
Cool.
He was on this show, so everybody go back and look at the episode where we interviewed him.
Yeah. It's cool. He's also from the area, the TFCon area in Toronto, and yeah.
He was giving away robots at TFCon if you came up to him and said hi, but I never managed to do that because I had 700 other things competing for space in my head, and that wound up near the bottom of the pile.
Well, it's funny. I ran into Toy Guy, and it's he just had a flock of people like following him wherever he was going. So we just briefly said hi to each other, but it was like everyone's just like Toy Guy.
I mean, he's been around since like the OG days of YouTube practically, and he did reviews on everything. That's actually how I got into wanting to actually build landfill. And also, fun fact: so I have a few friends of mine, in which they had the Revenge of the Fallen mint condition non-box ROTF Optimus. I searched up his video review since he did all the Lear classes, and I immediately helped. He had the problem of trying to put the chest piece into the arms, and he didn't know how to do it. So I just put it in, and I even got him more into Transformers after that.
Nice.
Like, he's the reason why I searched up him.
Cool. Yeah, you should.
What I will say for advice is, if you have any panels that you want to see, figure that out in advance and be ready to drop what you're doing and go there. Because if you're just going there as like a guest, like I did early on, it's very easy to do nothing but go through the dealer's room because there's so much stuff there, and that can be fun. But I'm always like, make sure to go see some panels. Look on the schedule. Make sure you're in the room at 2:00 or whenever it's going to be. Otherwise, you'll miss it.
Yeah, big
Well,
time.
I'm taking this thing like a military. Like, I'm taking this as Bumblebee as a scout.
Yeah.
That's
and
exactly it.
I dug back in my old customs, and I have my dead wheeljack.
Yeah. Oh, so just the Netflix one? Well, okay, a little more than that, but
Earth mode wheeljack.
Yeah. I love the Netflix one, but
I colored out his
that works
eyes
too.
black and added all the blast effects and the explosions.
Yeah. What was Vangelis saying? By the way, hi. Toy guy also tour guides a bunch of his American friends. He's multitasking so hard. Yeah, that'll do it. His friends should pay him.
Well, I have to get ready to leave, guys. It was very nice hopping back on with you guys.
Yeah, nice to see you
Also,
again.
the lockdown costume is still under works, but it'll be soon finished.
Right
Will
on.
it be finished for the convention, or?
No, I'm not gonna wear it for the convention because I don't have time. But I will try and wear it for the next time I ever get the chance to go there, because I'll be trying to go to the closest ones I have.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna go air traveling without a parent or one of my friends.
I don't blame you. The people that wear the elaborate costumes, I don't know how they do it the whole day. There was this one.
Talk about TFCON 2000 something. Somebody wore this very spot on Starscream Transformersprime costume for the entire thing.
Nice.
And also somebody wore as Ironhide, and the Ironhide costume was like 12
Transformers
feet tall.
Prime. I wonder if I know who was in that costume in the Transformers Prime. It was Megan came one year to TFCON Toronto, and she had that costume. I think that
And she
won
got
her
a
costume
Devastator,
contest.
and like a Devastator, if I'm correct.
Sweet,
It was
sweet,
all on
sweet.
video.
Oh,
So
sweet.
actually, Fair, the question you're asking, and I think Magnus could probably answer that in terms of how how people wear those costumes.
Oh yeah. How do you handle it? Oh, you're muted. Yeah, we can't hear you. I'm sure you're
I
saying
think your microphone
something
might be
very
disconnected
wise.
or something. But yeah, I'll just put on a bunch of ice packs when I go into lockdown if I'm going to TFCon and just chill in there.
I was
Just
saying
walk
there's
around as
And
an ice
Magnus,
cold block.
I would say maybe jump out and jump back in and see if it corrects it.
because there was this lady cosplayer show. I have video of her giving the Matrix to Goober during the Slurpee run, who was wearing like sort of a sailor suit that looked like Soundwave, but she just had the full voice change. Yep, we got
There you go.
She just had the full voice changing helmet on her head the entire convention, and I'm like, I could not do that. You would empty that thing, and it would just be this deluge of water spilling out from my sweat.
So Magnus, over to you. How do you handle wearing a costume like your Optimus all day?
All day.
Can you still hear me?
Yep.
we
Yeah,
got
you're
you.
kind of low, but yeah.
I've got this thing keep popping up. It's trying to change my microphone, so I'm going to have to look into that. But true cosplayers, we actually train for weeks before we go to a convention. My daughter's Chandra costume, which is 90 pounds of stainless steel chainmail. For the 3 weeks before the con, whenever she would come home at night, she would put that on and she would walk around the entire farm, which is 3 miles.
Oof. Ooh.
Wow.
She'd do 4 or 5 laps a day and then take it off, to where whenever she got to the convention, it was just like wearing regular clothes.
Okay, wow.
Well, for me, I'm doing lockdown light and slim, so he doesn't break that easily. I'm gonna do the best detailing and make sure he is super glued to the point that he cannot break, like one of those giant Lego sculptures that they do that's super glued to the point you drop it doesn't break.
What are you making it out of?
Cardboard and whatever I can find for parts.
If I recall correctly, that Prime Starscream outfit was made with that that foam board you get at the dollar store.
Styrofoam too. I'm planning to buy at least 2 or 3 sheets to build the head.
Yeah, that seemed like relatively easy to work with.
Well, I now have to go due to timing of sleep and everything. It was great talking to you guys.
It was great seeing you again.
Also, I will be joining you guys, and I'll try and get in contact with you. I'm a busy person. I have to go outside, mow the lawn, go to the pool, do stop motions, try and keep up with daily posting, do everything.
Oh,
no worries.
You'll be fine, young man.
No
It
worries.
just gets more complicated as you get older, though.
Well, hey, I have 2 parents who taught me very well.
That's good.
Impactor, before you go, you weren't here 2 weeks ago whenever I did this, but I owe you an apology. When I had a lot of personal stuff going on, the rest of the main crew here knows what was going on in my life that week, and you were just riding my every last nerve that night, and I exploded on you, and I had no right to do that. And so I'm apologizing to you now that you're on here. I'm sorry.
I accept your apology.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, he's normally a big old teddy bear, so.
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna now get ready to go. But I accept your apology, Mr. Magnus.
Thank you, mate.
All right. Have a good evening.
It's been
Peace out.
Vintage Toy Warp, Steambach, Fear Courage, all of you guys. Thank you guys for letting me on.
Thanks for
I
being
will
here.
see you guys next week. See you around.
All right. Take care.
And also remember, wreck and rule.
There you go.
That'll be your thing. Just because I've been messing around with this the entire time, can we talk about how funny G1 Rodimus Prime's actual head sculpt is when you get in close and have a look?
Can we talk about how much I need that spoiler? It just makes me mad. It just makes me mad.
Let me have something, man. Let me have this. I'm the hot rod guy. So. Oh my god, he's got one too.
Oh, Deceptikitty
guy.
We'll get to this one. We'll get to this one later. What about yours, Spear?
Wait, I gotta
Like, I don't want to... I might be remembering this wrong, but I think this parts guy did have, like... Well, no, he didn't have a bin of them. He had a bin of Rodimus Prime parts, in general.
Okay.
Because that's how he sorts them.
Because you made it seem like he just had a whole bin of these spoilers.
No, well, there was probably more than one in there. I'm pretty sure there was more than one, but it wasn't a bin entirely of spoilers. You know, the rifles, the little blast shields, all the parts. Yeah, there he is.
Oh, you're missing one.
Magnus comes on, give me that spoiler, boy.
Here's the thing. Let me talk a little bit about the engineering here and why it's such a weird choice. Because the reason the spoiler keeps disappearing is because they made it removable, right?
Yes.
Because you got vehicle mode position here, down here like this, and then robot mode position up here. But I've been messing around with him, and I'm like, that was a weirdly unnecessary design choice, because spoiler's supposed to go up here. I think it looks kind of weird because of how high up it is, and also the arms bump it. And so if we pop it off and just put it in vehicle mode position, but, you know, reversed, then you can still see it. It still makes for a decent silhouette, and the arms don't bump it.
Yeah.
And they wouldn't have even needed to have made it removable at all, because they could just spin it along that axis. So it's what you would call an unforced error. Like, I don't know why they decided to do it like that.
Yeah.
Oh, look at me. I'm Anthony. I can spin my fucking spoiler right. That one.
You know, the parts guy is probably watching like our stream after, and he's like, "Oh, all of you guys that are missing that yellow part."
Yeah. Oh, that price is going up after this show.
Yeah.
Oh god.
I remember now because I used to have my Rodimus on display, and I felt it was that peg hole was halfway in. It should have been halfway in between those two holes. That's where I would have preferred it to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll look forward to eventually giving this guy a write up, because I like doing write ups of old
He's
G1
a good
guys.
kid, Professor D.
Yeah, there he is.
Okay, so I'll real quick. I'll tell you how I came about this one. This one I actually whipped up in like maybe an hour. I designed this on my 3D printer. I looked at some schematics online, and I figured, okay, this is how it should be. And because the back, I'm not 100% certain it's a 5mm port. I put a little bit of a nub on there, and all you have to do is either just like rub it off with friction by pushing it in the hole, or just like filing it down with an X-Acto knife.
You said that, and I just checked by sticking it in Optimus's 5mm port here. I think it fits, so it's 5mm.
It is 5mm. Okay, so from some of the pictures, I wasn't sure.
Yeah,
I wasn't 100% sure. So I also, as an added bonus, I put an Autobot insignia there.
You're
like
sending me one of those, right?
Yeah, I am
You're
actually.
sending me.
This one's actually going to Toy Warp tomorrow. I've been meaning to send the package to him and like delay, but no more delays. Tomorrow that's getting sent out.
But I like the fact that it's so hard to get a spoiler that you were like, screw it, I'll just make my own.
I didn't even think I would find one at the con, and
I didn't.
I didn't even think to look. I wasn't thinking very much at the con, but had I thought, I would have looked for one for sure.
Well, Professor D says, "Hey guys, and did you see the way Impactor gave the pregnant pause just for a millisecond, and then with so much confidence said, "I accept your apology. This kid's going to be a star."
Well, he already does good stop motion, so he's already well on the way.
Yeah, and he's doing this mainly on his own. I mean, I'm thinking there's people that go to college and they don't learn animation of any kind or any sort of filmography editing until they're, in their 20s, and he's doing it like early teens or whatever he is. So,
Well, something that I should not have overlooked is our sponsorship that Deceptikitty was able to line up for us. Gotham
Comics?
City Central, Gotham Central Comics, which they have a store located in Mississauga, Ontario, supplied us with comics and trading cards to give away for our upcoming streams and for guests that we interacted with at TFCON. So I want to send a huge shout out and thank you to Gotham Central Comics, and and check them out if you're in the city. Go to their store and check them out.
Yeah, they're really far away from me, but I always stop by when I pass by that zone. They're huge. It's like 2 gigantic, almost warehouse-sized rooms. A lot of comics, a lot of other items. Yeah, go have a look. I have long history with those guys. They're somebody that works there was the guy that taught me how to do the bagging and boarding figures the way I do, and I've been doing that for like years and years now. So, yeah, a great important institution in the world of Canadian comic stores.
Yeah, I was really fortunate to get a bunch of stuff for giveaways. He gave me a whole bunch of these Transformers trading card game stuff, and that was a hot thing at the convention.
Yeah.
So we had, I think his name was Andrew. He was like the guy heading the community.
The trading cards.
The trading cards, yeah.
I had overlooked that.
I was talking about that on stream, so I'm glad we got an interview with somebody involved in that, about how the game has ended, but they're busy continuing to make expansions. And he was getting really into the weeds about how they play test them and balance everything. And they're basically just doing what the professionals do, but for free, because out of enthusiasm for this card game that they discontinued.
Yeah, I was gonna say, speaking of comics, I was thinking I might do some video of just showing off some of the, maybe every other week or so, whenever there's a significant change of stock. Like the 2 comic shops I get a lot of Transformers from, especially older, well, both old and new figures. And just maybe I'll tag us in the posts whenever I do that. I might start, and it's just, I literally just thought of that when you guys were talking about, your sponsorship by the comic shop up there in Canada with you guys, because they're a big reason why you guys even know me is them getting me. They're a big part of why I got into Transformers during COVID.
Oh, cool, cool.
Big shout out to Orlati doing the good job that he did on the panel that he was on. I mean, if it had been Deceptikitty apparently, and he didn't have another member of Children of Primus up there, it might not have gone so well. But I think Orlati really, it paid off. It really paid off putting him up there, because he did a fantastic job.
Yeah, and I think some were asking, how come I wasn't on the panel, and I think Orlati did an amazing job too. And it's I feel he was better going to the panel than I was, because I mean, in terms of Transformer knowledge, he does have a few more years over me in terms of the different franchises, where I'm still more of the G1 guy. So it's you send in the person who can kind of connect with everyone more, but everyone connects in a different way. So, but I'm impressed how Orlati represented us on the podcast panel.
Great job. I tuned in both days and listened in.
Yeah, you guys were there throughout the show. That's so cool. I wish I was on stream more. It was so busy, so hectic.
Yeah,
I was wondering where you were at, honestly.
Yeah, I was literally right to the side.
One time. For a little bit on one of the days on the stream, You came in after I think it was Simon Furman, and you're like, "Oh, I met this guy named Simon Furman." You were playing it off as if you didn't know who he was, and that you didn't know he had worked on Transformers comics. I saw that part of the stream live.
Yeah, right on. Yeah, I was so excited. I love Simon Furman.
And catch both days when I checked in.
Cool.
Yeah, I was on the stream once. I honestly, I was just, the table was just too busy, which is a good problem to have in my opinion, but I was just like slammed doing that and finding time to go for a walkabout and finding time to see the panels. But I showed off the dramatic capture series thing.
I remember seeing this part of the stream as well.
Yeah. So there were so many vendors here this year that they were outside were outside the dealer room. And there was somebody in the comments mentioning, but this is where the artist's alley would usually be. They moved it to a whole different location in order to make room for more vendors.
Mm-hmm.
But they had air conditioning, so they were sweating way less than us.
Oh God. AC.
Well, actually, it's not that we didn't have air conditioning. I think it was just working overtime on this 30°C plus Toronto day in this.
Well, it looks like too. You guys are right in front of the window with the sun beating on you, so that's that adds to it.
It could be worse. I know two girls. They're in Japan and they're gonna be live IRL some festival in Kyoto, and they're gonna be in full yukata kimono. So I was like, ooh, that's gonna be rough. And even yesterday when they were in their regular street clothes, like maybe a medium-sized skirt and like sleeveless shirts, you were still like having to stop every hour, go find somewhere with AC to rest. So it could be worse. And they're since I alluded to them, it's Teacher Tanuki, aka Crazy Japanese, and Runa with Tokyo. They're both with a channel group called Tokyo 6.
Cool.
Yeah, there's a homemade Bumblebee mask.
Now, the one thing I know, or I would say, in terms of this year's TFCON, I mean, TFCON in general, we always have to thank Colin, who's created it many years ago, and it is what it's become. I mean, with many things, there's the good and bad of any festival event or anything. So I mean, it does bring everyone together. Everyone is impressed with that. The one complaint, which was kind of a general complaint of everyone, was the air conditioning, where it just seemed the hotel scaled back on it for whatever reason. And you can't have hundreds of people at an event and the AC is scaled back, because in previous years, it was, they would have the AC almost overboard where it was cold, but as people came in, the temperature balanced out, so it worked perfectly. But this year, everyone was sweating, so that was one complaint. In one Facebook group, I did see someone complain that there wasn't enough vendors selling G1 items.
Really?
Unfortunately, I didn't go through to see this, but I mean, that's an interesting take.
I would contest that. There was plenty. The table like 2 down from us was selling a bunch of G1 stuff. I mean, I'm not like keeping percentages, but it felt about the same as previous years, which was a lot.
May have been somebody's first time, and they just expected more G1 stuff.
Yeah,
Maybe.
I mean, like the parts guy takes up like a whole wall of the vendor hall, and that's all like G1 stuff. And G2, like that's where I got that Grimlock from as well.
You know what? Honestly,
I mean,
well, go ahead, Magnus.
Go ahead, Tor.
Okay,
I was going to say, but being a semi G1, I span all of them, but I wouldn't expect to see a whole lot of G1 because most people that have G1 ain't getting rid of it. When my small cubicle over there that's got the G1s in it, those aren't for sale or trade. I know that there's a few vendors that would be selling it, but neither of the booths that we have at our collector's mall have G1 stuff. They have stuff from the current stuff, or 5-10 years ago. But yeah, you're not going to get people to come off of their 20-year-old stuff.
As a hardcore G1er, if it hadn't been for me being on here and like things like Anthony turning me on to Beast Wars and just taking a look at some other iterations of it and, deciding whether I like it or not. I probably would have gone to the TFCon I had gone to and been like, this extra crap. Where's all the G1 stuff? I probably would have been like that too if I hadn't been culturally enriched by y'all. So, it could have been a situation like that.
So next year at Toy War, it's only 10 hours from me. I'm 12 hours from you.
You're a lot more than 12 hours from me. You're more like 22.
Like 22.
Are you all the way down at the tip?
I'm not answering that.
Don't.
I'm more south than I am north. It's almost 8 hours for me just to get out of Florida.
Yeah, even for me,
I think 22 hours, you'd end up up here.
Yeah, so I'm almost 20 hours. I'm almost 20 hours from you because it's 11 and a half hours for me to get to where my sister lives there in Lake City.
Yeah, but Lake City's central and way north compared to me.
Yeah, it's it's 30 minutes on the inside of the Georgia border. I thought you said you were 2 hours away from there. I'm sorry, I misunderstood that.
Me being from Ohio, I've made quite a few trips back and forth, and it's 22 hours between my front door and the front door of my buddy's house in Ohio, and you're off some. You know what I mean? It's a straight shot for me up to Ohio.
What I was going to say is next year I'm planning on going up there with them next year, and I was going to say you come up here, stay with me a night, and then we'll drive up there the next day and stay a night up there.
Nice. That would be cool.
SETTOM, I'll offer you that same offer. I'll drive.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember what you're the next state. I can't remember what state are you in.
I'm in Indiana. I'm in southern Indiana, right on top of Kentucky.
What part of Indiana are you in?
Southern Indiana. I'm right on top of Owensboro, Kentucky, right near Louisville.
Yeah, I have to find out where my friend Stuart Sager, what part of the state he lives in. Because then I could maybe leave a day before I meet up with you and see him and his wife, and then meet up with you.
Oh, hey, there's my only appearance on the stream, unrelatedly, just in the video. Like, that's the one time I was there.
I was current at that time.
Yeah.
I saw you pop in a couple of times. I mean, not to say anything, but I saw you kind of, doing the thing, behind the scenes.
So Anthony and I were just off to the left of the camera here, and we were kind of taking turns holding Deceptikitty's leash and making sales. He was there most of the time, but I was taking Lana for a walk or whatever, running around. Yeah. And we were so busy. There was so many people there talking to everyone.
There's Macho Man Randy Magnus.
Oh, so it is.
Did the how did she do with all those people? I guess you had done this before, right? Having her come with you at big gatherings of people.
Yeah, this is her 4th year. She did really well. She had a really, really good time. In fact, she was actually super excited, throughout the whole week just to go. And she was totally prepared. She knew what to expect. She had a much better time than last year. But we came home with some major con crud. And I had to take her to the vet on the Tuesday.
Yeah, I saw you and was it you and Anthony talking on the Discord? Yeah, Discord, everybody in the chat, by the way. We have a Discord.
Yeah,
exactly.
Check out our Discords.
And the Facebook group.
Oh, yeah, that too. But yeah, I was going to say,
Savage Magnus,
he's people shy, but my prior cat, Gracie, I could go walk down the broad street of Richmond, Virginia, and then walk to where the college library, the Campbell Library of ECU, and there's a grassy little area where people would picnic and stuff, and I could take her out over there, and she would be cool. She'd be having people making all over her. So I at least with her, I know what it's like. You probably have an idea what it was like with you with Lana. And her, I didn't have a leash. I was just, she would just be on my shoulder like a parrot.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool.
Or carry her like a baby, and she would be chilled.
Yeah, Lana would jump off.
People wanted to take photos of her. It was fun.
Yeah, that's
Simon Furman too.
Like Lana.
Ooh.
Yeah, Simon Furman ran up to me.
So any extra stickers and whatnot need to come to me. My baby needs Needs some TFCON stickers.
I only have the one, and I want to hang on.
Oh,
to it.
wait, no! What? All of a sudden, you need stickers, but your gravity doesn't work on stickers. Just Transformers?
No, they're not plastic.
Not enough mass.
DK beat me to the punch. I was gonna say the stickers are too light, but yeah, enough mats, same thing.
Yeah. Yeah, I got. Lana's probably one of the most well-disciplined cats I've ever seen in my life. Oh, 100 ninja power!
Yeah, I finally got one of these. I missed out my chance last year, and I got a whole sticker set from Ninjatron this year.
It
was fun.
In the front.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then, yeah, Mega Man in the back. Is it?
Yeah, Mega Man was exclusive to the pack.
Bulkhead in the center.
Yeah.
Pacific Rim robot.
Street
Street Shark, hey.
Street Sharks. Wasn't there a commercial that Van Diesel did before he became more well known?
That's a very famous clip.
Street Shark, yeah.
That's right.
It's him at Toy Fair selling them. There's Lana. I was a little video I took enjoying that Go-Gurt for cats, whatever it's called.
Energon tube.
Yeah, enjoying the Energon tube.
Aww.
My new laptop is naked.
Ooh. Can we see?
Are we allowed to put it out on stream?
Ooh.
Oh, there we go.
Nice.
Of course, you got some sexy ladies on there. Not that I have room to talk with my Facebook.
Got that right.
Oh, I know.
Speaking of stickers, remember on the Cruisers Motorsports channel, we have the retro stickers available.
Yes, I'm going to get one of those.
They are cheap. And then we have various sizes of the actual logo just by itself.
Cool.
Yeah, I need to get one of those big ones to put on my RV, and I want one of the smaller ones to put on the laptop. My old laptop, you can't see any of the plastic on it.
Jeez.
Every convention I went to, I got 2 or 3 different kinds of stickers and put them on there. And I've just started with this one.
Okay, nice.
Yeah, I'm thinking of speaking of stickers. If the channel the channel itself, Children of Primus and Toy Warp, if you know how the sticker people that make the toy hacks, like you know how they have the vinyl stickers, like if you have like a stickers that could maybe be strong enough that you could put it on a backpack and not have it just instantly screw up. I would be down for stickers for.
Tell you what I did this year.
What'd you do?
So for a past TFCon, I made this T-shirt. It's supposed to be like that Rodimus Prime and Optimus shaking hands, and there's some like Transformers and Japanese text on the bottom.
Oh, he was so excited he unplugged his mic accidentally. Oh, you're still muted.
It's going to take a couple of seconds to kick back in.
There you go.
No.
I just like that you're enthusiasm. Gotcha.
I got to answer this call real quick.
Okay. Sorry, malfunction.
There we go.
There you go.
All right.
Yeah. That's somebody that was missing. Toy Hacks used to come to these things and have a booth.
Okay.
I don't think they were. If they were here, I didn't see them, and I went through the whole place a few times. I definitely would have. There's a lot of sticker sets of theirs. I would definitely have impulse bought if I was on site instead of shipping them to me. They've been there previously because they're like a Canadian company, so they usually just bring the greatest hits with them.
I wonder why they didn't show up this year, or unless there wasn't space for them.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Maybe they were over in the artist alley.
Which is one point that I did overlook in terms of how they structured the artist alley and the vendors. Where I think it was a bit unfortunate for the artist alley because where they were tucked away is almost far opposite end from where the vendors were, where usually everyone's integrated. So, people come in looking at the vendors and stuff, and you go out to the hallway right beside it. There's an artist alley. So everyone, you get a mix of everything. Whereas now it's all the vendors are in one section, and you almost completely overlook the artist alley unless someone takes you there or directs you to that opposite end of the hotel.
That's how it was at my TFCon.
Yeah, it makes it so you can't really plan as well because you're afraid if you walk all the way to the other end of the building where the artist alley is or vice versa, you're going to miss out on stuff.
Yeah, like they used
Whereas
to be
if they're next door to each other, you feel like you could maybe look at everything and then, better plan your purchases.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know what the mood is in the air with the artist alley side of things, but yeah, I'd be a bit disgruntled if I was in their shoes, so it wouldn't surprise me if that's a thing that they had to say.
I know Deceptikitty's having a huge technical issue. I'm sorry about that. Although I know you are a technical guy. Perfectly.
Yeah, I hear you.
Yeah.
I had to switch microphones because I busted this one. Anyways,
we watched it happen too. You were enthusiastically flailing your limbs about, and then one of them caught it.
Oh yeah, I was talking about my T-shirt. Yeah, so I airbrushed the bottom of my T-shirt over here, and I just put it through the wash after the con, and the airbrush stays. So that tells me I could just airbrush some cool designs on some T-shirts for next year, and I couldn't. Yeah, I should just do a yellow and a black Children of Primus logo on it next year. That's
well, speaking of which,
sorry, I was that was work.
Mine's in the washer. I'd be wearing it right now. Yeah, we have shirts now.
But y'all remember? It's been probably 6 months, maybe longer ago, that I showed this
Toxitron Sideswipe. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, and I got the sticker set. The Toy Hack sticker set to really vamp him up.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, this is not the one that I showed you all. I had a guy because I wanted to keep that one in the box because of how popular he's gotten, and I had a guy that was looking for a Studio Series cup, and I was like, I've got Studio Series cup. You want to trade or you want to just buy it? And he was like, well, here, this is what I've got to trade. And this was in there. And I was like, I'll take that.
Yeah. Jeez.
Nice.
That was the one. That was the Cosmos of that line because it was also one per case. So that's
wow.
Right.
Nice.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't see him around anymore. I still see the laser, the jazz laser cycle and the watermelon mirage. I still see them around a lot at Walmart's in my area.
This is not Transformers related, but that I'm into
Cloud Cover
as well.
Ooh.
Oh, you want to see it?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. We'll see.
So awesome. there was a Kickstarter from Catalyst Game Labs, which is who took over BattleTech for those of us that play BattleTech, and they had a Kickstarter 2 years ago for the Mercenary set. If I'm not mistaken, it's still in the record books for the largest Kickstarter to ever go through. It was like $1.6 million because they went worldwide with it. It hit its goal of $50,000 in 12 minutes.
Wow.
There's that many BattleTech fanatics out there still.
Good.
And I'm one of them. Well, it's been hell getting it because there's been all kinds of the company that they had that was printing the mechs. Now this is not the size of the mechs. This is just a larger scale of one of the mechs that came in the set. And but if you got certain tiers, I don't know if y'all have ever done Kickstarters or not. If you get certain tiers, you get certain bonuses. That was one of the bonuses because I got a company level. But they halfway through the thing, it took so long because they had so many orders that one of the printing companies actually declared bankruptcy. And so they had to find another printing company to take over the printing of all of these mechs.
Wow.
For $1.6 million. Or whatever, that they had to find somebody so that they didn't lose money and they still got everything. So it's been 2.5 years.
Wow.
Still, they haven't released it.
We actually had a flea infestation here, and I don't know how we got that because my cats don't go outside, so somebody had to bring them in. But we had to bomb the house Saturday, and then so we took the cats outside, took everything off the shelves, bombed the place, left for 3 hours, came back, and we were just cleaning everything, taking the curtains down, throwing them in the wash, and I see this delivery guy walk up and then walk away. And so I put it on my phone. I've got nothing on delivery, but I live on a compound. So I was like, oh, somebody, they delivered something here for my sister. So I just let it sit out there, and I'm messing around. I go outside, and there's this box that says Quartermaster on the top of it. And so I rip it open, and I was like, oh my God, it's here, it's here, it's here. And it was my mech stuff. So I posted a picture of it online on my Battletech page, which like 60% of the people there also were in this Kickstarter. And I was like, Marshall Dragoo, look, he's the guy that got me into Battletech back in like 1989. I was like, look, it came. And oh my God, the feedback that I got, because I'm like the first person in the States that got one.
Oh, really? Wow.
Oh, yeah. People were angry.
Your phone notifications were a buzzing.
Somebody off, and they were like, no, man, we're proud of you. We're just sour about everything.
Yeah, you know, like...
I've been posting pictures of me opening shit. You know, oh, look at this. Look at these openings.
Kind of like Anthony tonight, huh?
Isn't it? Look, I'm the Rodimus fan, all right? I deserve
I just have
this.
this mental image of Mr. Magnus being like, hee hee, this is me opening
So I set up all 60 of the mechs on my back porch on the handrail and was priming them today. And so I was sending pictures of all of those. Shit, we still haven't even got a confirmation email. And I'm like, I didn't get an email either. It just arrived.
Is it a UK thing?
Another buddy of mine told me that if I didn't receive an email, I might get another box.
Wow.
So, we'll see.
I love the maniacal part of the maniacal part of the end of that. We shall see.
Yeah. Oh, what? You want my crazy laugh?
Battletech.
Let me do it. Oh.
In Battletech, this is called the Mad Cat. Its clan name is actually called the Timberwolf, but in the lore, whenever they first met the clans, because a catapult looks like this without the arms. It's basically that same thing with no arms.
Okay.
But the arms look like a marauder. And so in the lore, in the books, whenever they first saw these on the battlefield, it was registering on their targeting computers as Marauder Catapult, Mad Cat. And so that's why they call them the Mad Cat. And it's probably the most popular design, and it's the most recognizable design of Battletech. You know, it's like their flagship. And so that's why they made these into these 4-inch figurines to send out to everybody to put as desktop things. And I'm going to have a lot of fun painting this thing.
Cool.
I've been off for the past 2 weeks, so I've just been doing a little side work, and so I've been doing a lot of painting, catching up on a lot of my miniature stuff.
I've been getting caught up with my Instagram stuff finally, both on SETTOM Arts and B&B.
With the amount of stuff.
Do you paint? Do you paint your stuff?
Yeah, definitely. I just bought some of these acrylic paints to try out recently. I do a lot of airbrushing my figures.
Oh, yeah. I haven't broken. I used to airbrush, and I've got a great big airbrush kit.
Sweet.
And like a vacuum system.
Sweet.
But I do a lot of dry brush.
Oh yeah,
you know what I mean by that?
Yeah.
Yeah, yes, like the Citadel paints.
To do yes.
Yeah.
Well, there's a thing called war paint.
Okay, yeah, I've heard of that.
Army painter, and army painter is very expensive.
Okay.
But this was Prime Week. Guess what was 70% off?
What?
Wow.
Optimus, remember, Bill. Optimus
So it
Prime
costs a
died
normal
for
amount.
you, so you could get that paint for cheap.
Huge. Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, so I was like, oh, yeah, I was like, I wonder what else on Prime days. Of course, you know, everybody looks for electronics. I don't. I look for shit to go in here. lights and cameras and shit like that.
I love how you
And
say that you were off for like 2 weeks and you're catching up on this stuff. I thought this was your job.
Oh no!
I'm messing with you. It just that's a job in itself.
I build water plants and sewer plants now.
I know. But what I'm saying is, like, that collection, that I'm telling you, that's a job in itself. Between the transformers you have and the and all the BattleTech stuff. Oh my God, yeah, that's insane.
But I was an artist when I was younger. I drew, painted, all kinds of stuff, and my dad's cousin. Let me see if I'm saying that right. Yeah, my dad's second cousin is Larry Elmore. And Larry Elmore is a phenomenal artist who did a lot of the stuff for TSR way back in the day, back in the late 80s, early 90s. He did all the cover art for Dragonlance. And I actually did a 6-month internship under him. And so he kind of fine-tuned me on how to paint smaller things. Like I have paintbrushes that only have 2 hairs on them.
Oh God.
Yeah. But one of my biggest things is I had a dwarf miniature from D&D, which was only about a 1/2 inch tall, and I painted each one of his teeth individually. Yeah, it was fun. That was one of my big things, and I've been published in Dragon Quest magazine back when it was a thing, or sorry, InQuest. It was called InQuest magazine.
Yeah, Dragon Quest is that I cannot talk. JRPG series that's even more popular than Final Fantasy over in Japan.
Yeah, I think it's done by Akira Toriyama too.
Yep.
But I used to get commissioned to do miniature group painting for publications and stuff like that.
Nice.
And that's what got me into BattleTech. Was my friend Marshall Dragoo. He was telling me about this game because he was messing with them at school one day, and he had these little miniatures, and I was like, "Hey, what's that?" And he was like, "Oh, this is BattleTech," and he explained it to me, and we played a few games, and I was like, "Cool." And so I went out and bought the box set, and it came with, I think it was like a 10 or 11 of the little miniatures, and so I broke out my paints, and I painted these things up, and the next time I went to play them, I pulled my shit out, and he's like, "What the hell? Where's that come from?" And I was like, "What?" I just added some color to them, and he was like, "Dude, you need to paint mine."
Nice.
Nice.
Yeah, that reminds me. There was like an X-Men board game that came with a big tray of maybe like 20 little minifigures of various X-Men characters, and I remember painting all those when I was younger.
Cool. Yeah, I love miniature painting. I initially got into miniature painting. I think it was with the orcs from Warhammer 40K. And a friend of mine, Bryce Rutledge Baricey, was a huge Warhammer painter. He was amazing. He has some pics online of his collections and of his miniatures he painted, and absolutely stunning. So I love how unique you can make an army, but like everyone has like their own style on how they finish their characters. I think it's so cool what you can express with those miniatures.
Yeah, my 40K stuff is still buried over in the corner but this is the stuff that I've been working on this week.
Cool.
Oh, nice.
Nice. Is that like the dry brush edges there that I'm?
Yes.
Yeah. Nice. You know what? To be honest, it's hard to tell from this distance whether it's actually chromy or really well dry brushed there. This one I can tell is dry brushed.
Very nice. Yeah.
And I don't know if I'm going to be able to get this one close enough without it trying to here, let me see if I can get that to go up like that so it doesn't focus on me.
It's purple.
Yeah, I like the color. Yeah, I like that a lot. Really nice.
But see all the details?
Yeah, dude. So do you have like an eye loop when you work with these things?
I don't know what an eye loop is, so I'm going to say no.
Eye loop is like it's like a magnifying glass you stick in your eye when you're working on it. I used to have one, but now
No,
I have a stupid powered microscope.
I have near perfect vision within 5 feet of me.
Oh, you're lucky, dude.
I don't have to have reading glasses on unless I have my glasses on.
Mhm.
So like my glasses, they have bifocals in them, to augment my lenses so that I don't have to take my glasses off at work. Because we have to have safety glasses on 90% of the time. But no, I have near perfect vision here, and so no, I do all of this stuff by hand.
Nice.
And just look and feel.
That's good.
I have a collection of probably 200 paintbrushes.
Yeah.
And I don't, well, y'all know, I don't skimp on anything. Yeah, the cheapest brush I have is probably $19.
Yeah, there's brushes are not cheap.
Yeah. And you get what you pay for, especially when you're trying to do something like this.
Yeah, when you buy those Amazon packs of paintbrushes, it's not the same quality.
Oh, no. It's just like that paint set, it's got, and 4 brushes. Yeah, those will be put into a bin for somebody else to use.
Yeah.
I have friends come over every now and then. We do a little paint party over here.
Oh, cool.
And but I'm not great at airbrushing. I want to be, but it's something I just don't have a hand for. I've tried it. I've watched videos. I've watched all kinds of stuff. I just don't have the hand for it.
Let me show you the secret.
I have that exact same brush.
What you don't have, you may not have the hand for it, but you don't have the handle for it. See, this is something I specifically designed to fit my hand perfectly, right? So when you're holding an airbrush, just like lickety, without this thing, it's a really heavy and cumbersome thing. Like the front is overly heavy, and like when you pull the trigger, it doesn't rest correctly on the inside of your hand. So what I've done is I've created this, and it fits like a banana, like God intended. Did you hear of that? Anyways, I'm not gonna.
I know what you mean.
Did you design that?
I did design it. And this fits. This is an Iwata airbrush. So that's another thing. It's like
I don't want to take away from something that you get money for. But would you share that STL file with me?
100% I share with you, yeah. And then you can help me use it on your thing, and then you can tell me how I can improve it. This one works with Iwata brushes, and that would fit also most Badger airbrushes. And then I've also created one for the cheap line. This is the Veda airbrush, and they go by a number of different names. You could probably find these ones on Amazon or AliExpress. They're great starter brushes. And then I moved up. This one was $1,000. This is a Iwata. I forget the model number, but it's the $1,000 one. Yeah. So
I have not graduated to that level yet. I paid $400 for my airbrush kit. Nice. And I paid $200 for the air compressor, and then like $125 for the vacuum painting area, so the fumes go out the house.
That's a good, important.
Now I do have that set up because that's where I actually clean my collection. I turn that vacuum on, and then I go in there and I dust everything. That way, it just sucks everything out of this area. Oh, I did get a new brush. I will show you that.
Cool.
The new cleaning brush. We were talking about that a while back.
As a Splatoon player, I looked at that and was like, "Oh, an arrow spray from," because they have the guns in that game that look exactly like that one. So,
so Mr. Magnus, you could change that meme about, but we don't have this cat at home. You just change cat to paintbrush, and that's probably Mr. Magnus from the sound of it.
But these are the brushes that I use to clean my collection.
Oh, totally. Yeah, great. Those makeup brushes, blush.
They're extremely soft.
Yeah.
Extremely soft, and you can push them into anything.
Perfect. Yeah.
But yeah, that's what I dust my collection with. We were talking about that one day, and I said I had new brushes ordered.
Awesome.
And everything. This is them.
Yeah.
And they have white tips, and so once they get dirty, I don't clean. I throw them.
Yeah.
As long as I can take them outside and do this, and they stay white, then they stay white. Everything, but once I do this, and they're still brown, then they go in the trash.
Yeah, because they get cruddy.
I'm in the process of cleaning my entire collection as we speak. So yeah,
boy.
those would come handy.
Well, we just did the bombing of the house, and we had to turn off all circulation for doing that. Like I said, we had, I don't know where they came from. I don't know who brought them in the house, but my cats don't go outside. I don't have any outside, inside animals. So whether I brought them in, my son brought them in, somebody brought fleas into my house.
Ooh.
And my old man cat, he's the one that we noticed on because he was actually pulling his fur off.
Ooh.
And he's like half bald from mid-rib cage back. He had damn near stripped himself. And, you know, I was treating everything other than fleas because my cats don't go outside.
Right.
You know, and they're black cats, so you don't see the fleas on them.
No.
This is
You
true.
know, and so until he, you know, we were giving him these coconut oil baths and all this stuff, trying to get rid of dry skin and everything, and wrapping him. We call his nickname is Moo Moo, and so we bought like this little cat sweater that was cow printed, so he was Moo Moo. That was a Moo Moo.
Oh, the look on Toy Warp's face.
But we would put the coconut oil on him and then put the Moo Moo on him.
Cats.
And he was absolutely miserable in it, and so he destroyed it. He chewed at it until it just turned into ribbons, and I was like, okay, we've got to do something. So I took him to the vet, and the vet was like, oh my gosh, this poor cat is infested with fleas.
You're like,
and
what?
I was like, what? I said, he's not an outside cat. And she goes, well, then the fleas came in on your dog. I said, I don't have a dog. I have a dog, but the dog doesn't come inside. Like that, and she's like, well, somehow fleas have gotten in here, and this poor cat is just eat up with them. And so she gave him the little stuff on the back of his neck, and she's like, in a week, you need to give him a flea bath, and you probably need to bomb the house.
Oh boy.
Oh my god.
Like that. Well, I don't have carpet because we have stone floors. You know, we have stone tile floors. So they had to be living in the couch that the two cats sleep on. So even still, we went ahead and bombed everything. And I've never bombed a house before. My girlfriend, my fiance, has. And I didn't know there was that much shit you got to do to set off a couple of bug bombs. It's like a 3-day process. You got to bag up everything, and then you have to wash everything that's outside, all the curtains. It was crazy, but that's what we were doing whenever the delivery guy came. But we've taken care of the cats, and then I gave both of the cats a bath. And Decepticitty, you will love my young man. I got the old man. His name is Zero.
Yeah.
And he is 14 years old.
Nice.
He's ancient, but he's the king of the house.
Yeah, cool.
Now, Panthro, which I know Full appreciate that name. Yeah, Panthro is part Maine Coon.
Oh, nice. Nice,
Oh, gosh,
nice.
those
Yeah,
are
that's
big
awesome.
folks.
Now, he does not have the longness of a Maine Coon, but he has the girth of a Maine Coon. But he has 19 pounds of solid muscle.
Wow.
I believe it.
Wow. Yeah.
And
real
he's a
Coons.
beast. I had to wash these two cats. Okay, so now Zero bites you because he sees the sink and he's like, no, I'm going to get wet. But as soon as that warm water hits him, he's like, oh, okay, all right, I'll sit here. That'll be all right. Panthro is as strong as I am.
Oh, yeah.
And he don't like water. He did not get that part of the Maine Coon. He just got the girth and that thick ass fur. And
You heard us talking about cats.
I'm holding him down. I've got him by the face and the butt. And Amanda is scrubbing him in because you have to let that flea shampoo sit on him for 5 minutes after you get them lathered up.
Right.
And he wasn't having it. he had his claws bit into the side of the sink and was pulling against me, and I'm pushing down on him until he would run out of breath. And then he'd be like, and I could relax. And I'm like, and then he'd start up again. And I'm like, oh, you've got to stay here for 5 minutes. And it was an absolute war.
Yeah. Yeah.
But now that they're all nice and clean.
That's good.
No
That's
fleas.
good. Oh, that's good. Yeah. It's
Yeah,
good you
that
got
was
the
our
kid.
that was our Saturday. It was an all-day fucking thing.
Oh man, yeah.
Well, the
Yeah,
rest
my
of us were at a
stepmom used to have a
convention.
Mancoon,
Yeah, it's pepperoni.
so I know how big and heavy those cats can be. Especially if it jumps up on your chest while you're laying on the couch, it'll take the wind out of you.
Especially if they're wet, like 50 pounds, I bet.
Oh gosh, yeah.
SETTOM, you and Deceptikitty and Toy Warp, y'all haven't been here as long as I have, but I used to be on the back porch before I got internet here at the house, and so Courage
so
and
cool.
Spin have seen me come up the spiral staircase to the second floor. So that spiral staircase is like 4 feet away from my kitchen table. And Panthro will go halfway up the stairs and then go through the handrails and jump onto that table. And it sounds like somebody's taking 2 fists and slamming them into that table when he lands. I say, he's 18 pounds. He's as heavy as a beagle.
Boy.
You know, he is massive. And, dude, whenever he jumps off the chair and lands on my lap while we're watching TV, God bless him. I know he just wants love. It's like somebody dropping a medicine ball on you.
Yeah. Oh, boy.
Yeah, it sounds like that that animation of the iron ball spell.
Iron balls, it's like that monks when they do the.
It's like a D&D spoof where it makes sure you know what's heavy.
Titanium
It's iron
sack.
yeah. Yeah, that.
Yeah.
What is this devolved
manual
into?
breathing. I cast manual
It's like,
breathing.
what the hell is SETTOM talked about?
Frenzy Freestyle Sundays.
That's right.
Every Sunday on Children of Primus.
Welcome.
Chaos incarnate.
As we're going to wrap up, please like the video, subscribe to our channel.
Yeah, comment below, even if it's negative. Like, sock it to me.
That's right.
Yes, I
That's
know
right.
on a chaos
Bad
gremlin.
publicity is still publicity.
It's still publicity. So, Mr. Magnus, before we sign off, what do you have upcoming for this week?
For this week is going to be more painting. I'm going to. These are actually not done.
Oh.
They still have just a few more details for me to put on. But I'm going to be doing a lot of painting. I don't think I have anything coming in the mail Transformers wise. I do have some new proxies coming magic card wise. I found a new person online that beat my old guys' prices. We had a drink get spilled at one of our Magic the Gathering games. Now my decks run anywhere from $2,000 to $8,000 depending on which deck I'm playing. So that was a panic, you know, as everybody grabbed their shit off of the table.
Yeah.
So I have gotten any card that I have over $50 proxied.
Makes sense.
And they'll be arriving Monday or Tuesday. So that's really the only thing that I've got coming. But yeah, I won't proxy any card that I don't already own. I am that kind of a player. You know, I won't proxy a card just because it's expensive. If I want to play the card, then I will own one of them.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, the deck that I was playing at the time was all of my dual lands and all of my shock lands and a time twister, and it was scary. As that liquid came running towards them.
Be scary, all right.
Ooh.
There he is.
Professor, there. I mean, oh,
Dun,
wait,
dun,
Professor.
dun.
Perceptor.
Yo, D.
What's good, guys?
You got 2 minutes, sir.
One other thing that did happen this week, Amanda got some of our stuff for the wedding.
Nice.
Stuff that I did not know that she was ordering. So as people come in the door, they're going to get a button, and it's going to be either an Autobot or a Decepticon.
Nice.
Awesome.
Because I am an Autobot. Amanda is a Decepticon, and all of the bridesmaids are going to have Decepticon hairpins that she is making herself.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I have I had a green T-shirt in the mid 2010s, and it was like a marriage, like a married couple, bride and groom, but as restroom people, and then it says game over underneath. And I had the Avengers vs. X comic event. They had like a Cyclops pin for the X-Men, and then Captain America for the Avengers. And I think I put Cyclops over the groom's face and Captain America over the bride's face. Now I'm gonna want to look up that picture to share with Mr. Magnus next week. Now.
Well, there is also another little thing that she put out there, so it's going to keep us from actually using a church. Instead of lighting a unity candle, we are going to do a mixed drink, and we're going to take a drink that I like and a drink that she likes, and we're going to pour them together and make a shot out of each one of them.
Nice.
And we're going to take that shot. Yeah, she came up with that, so that's what we're going to use. And there was one other thing. There's the shot, the buttons, the hairpins. I don't know. There's a lot of stuff coming in that she's taking care of, a lot of it. But yeah, she's really on board. Oh, the person that we have that is going to be doing the actual nuptials, going to be putting on the ceremony for us. He is going to make it Transformered themed. He said, I'm going to start doing my background. He was tuned in tonight. He watches on YouTube on his TV, so he can't actually comment.
Nice.
And everything. But yeah, he sent me a text, and he was like, I'm watching you all. And then he sent me another text, and he was like, okay, that Impactor guy's got to go.
All right, speaking of people who got to go, that's an amazing story. We are excited. We can't wait to come down, hang out with Mr. Magnus.
Yeah.
It's going to be a blast.
Yeah.
And
I can't hear Professor Perceptor. Can anybody else?
Yeah, I got him.
Yeah, I hear him.
Yeah.
You guys hear me? Everybody hear me okay?
A little echoey, but I hear you.
Okay, I can turn, hold on, I can adjust this slightly. Can you hear me any better now?
Yeah.
Yes, I can.
Okay, cool. All right, so I got 2 minutes here. So I haven't been on the stream with everybody. I've been listening. It's been awesome. Everybody's been doing really great stuff. But as you know, we mentioned in the comments earlier on that Anthony and I in the background are doing some collaborative work involving Seekers. Now, Impactor was talking about Seekers.
Oh, yeah.
Anthony got somebody there to show you. Here is the remaster. It's MTRC06. Is that right? No. MTRM06 is what this guy is. So Moody Blue, this was the convention exclusive for TFCON 2024. We are going to have an in-depth iceberg expose on why this color, not any of the other odd colors that you've seen from Seekers in the past, including this awesome color here, which was previously an exclusive from Make Toys. And we do have a copy of that. And TS Source has also provided us with a few other very special Seekers to look at here. So we will be doing a smackdown of every single Masterpiece blue and blue variant and off blue jet, and we will determine what is great and what sucks about each of the top competitors. We're not going back to MP03. We're going to start with MP11. Here's the classic MP11. This is the official, not a knockoff. This is the official Masterpiece Thundercracker. And you know what's wonderful about this Thundercracker is that he has that on-screen color, right, that we didn't have with our G1s, right? Our G1 Thundercracker is a nice deep blue. That nice deep blue is in the shiny paint on this guy here. So we will compare those. And of course, we'll go back to G1 for toy work for you, just showing a nice shiny Skywarp. And we'll still have the paint on these guys. On the Skywarp here is maybe the best paint on a Masterpiece Skywarp. So lots to go into, and of course we won't forget these guys because this is actually the best figure. I forget what this one's called now because I'm doing this real fast. But you guys know this is the best model, like in terms of figure that's been built for a Seeker, in our opinion. But we don't have this Moody Blue, and there's a reason why the Moody Blue is the greatest one, and you're going to find out next week. Mr. Magnus, there you go. Thank you for showing that beautiful dark color. So that's what we do have with the Make Toys. We've got that nice dark Thundercracker color. Both are beautiful for different reasons. And, of course, I just brought Dirge as well because, you know, he's a Blue Seeker. Conehead, he's one of the dumber Blue Seekers. But nonetheless, he's got to represent. So that's my time. And one other thing that I didn't get to do. My reveal, aside from all this stuff, is the coolest thing that I got that I have not even been able to look at, but Deceptikitty knows about. The most amazing thing that I got. Totally was not expecting to get this, but this was a Grail item for me. It came and went when it was in, available third party. I was like, when will I ever get a chance to get it? And Colin, the founder of TFCON Toronto, sold me an MMC Skylynx. So basically, I'm doing an MMC theme.
Spit out a Matrix just there.
Yeah. And, that was from Deceptikitty's Matrix. So Deceptikitty, I haven't lost it.
Skylynx was holding it for you.
To prove I've been listening the whole stream, you said when you drop a little accessory, you make sure to pick it up right away so it doesn't get lost. So,
the cats are going to get it.
Exactly.
You're giving me PTSD.
So there we go. So I'm going to have a lot of fun playing with this guy. I'm going to do a review. I haven't done reviews in years, but I'll do a review. I'm going to put it up online. I'm inspired with all the people that I met this year. Everybody hold up your Matrix. I see Spinister's got his Matrix.
Oh, mine's in the other room, but I assure you.
Okay,
wait, I have one of the prototypes. I have a prototype.
TFCON. Yeah, there you go. Matrices in the air.
There, I have one of the prototypes he sent me back in the day. There we go.
Sweet prototype.
There you go.
And I also want to shout out Mr. Magnus from Toy War.
3D printed one.
No, Magnus, you're doing it up.
Mr.
You're
Magnus
doing it up.
being a show-off with that big giant one.
But I want to thank Magnus and Toy Warp and the rest of you guys. Stephen, also, you were also in the comments, right, over the weekend?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so it was cool, even though you guys couldn't be up here with us.
Yeah.
But you guys were in the comments.
Yeah.
So,
That's
I really
awesome.
love that. Seeing Mr. Magnus there, that was wicked. And Toy Warp as well. It was really cool. I really feel like we have this family that we're this international team that we're making.
Yeah,
And
It was reminding me of how in the 90s you had the X-Men Gold team and the X-Men Blue team.
There you
Yeah,
go.
totally.
Canada's the blue or the gold team.
Yeah. We're red team. We'll be red team because Canada red flag.
Red X-Men team. So
you guys can be blue team.
Yeah.
We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out.
That works.
We'll decide on the colors.
Yeah.
Well, Sid and Bach Arts, what do you have coming up for the week before we sign out?
I was one of those Japanese streamers I mentioned earlier. Teacher Tanuki, I kind of was using some of her catchphrases as a baseline when I was practicing different goofy, silly voices the other day. So I'm thinking I might do take my Windblade, both my Legacy and Movie bludgeons, and my Generations Drift, and do 2 voices saying her little catchphrases for her Instagram shorts. And then doing some photography collages because I need to make room on my phone because I'm starting to get the notifications like your phone is running out of room, and I don't want to just delete stuff that I took the time to take actual good pictures of. So I got to use actually finally post a lot of stuff finally. So
cool. Just before we go over to Toy Warp, Decepticitty, show that up again.
Oh, I found these. I pulled it out of my comics box. These are some bookmarks we got from Gotham Central Comics.
Oh, I thought they were tickets.
Not tickets. They actually, they used to have some type of discount coupon, but the day I went to go pick up some of the giveaways from Gotham Central, they didn't have the ones with the actual discount on them. So they're just bookmarks with their address and location. Mississauga, Dixie, and Eglinton.
Cool. And Toy Warp, what do you have coming up for a week? Oh, we're going on Friday to see it.
Yeah, we're going Friday as well.
Nice.
All right, coming up, hopefully, not this week, but next week, we'll be covering the last piece of the Bigfoot saga, and it'll be the Car Crush. This is the piece that's really, really hard to find because these cars were just kind of like a thin plastic, kind of like a shrink wrap plastic where you can crinkle it. Yeah, sure, you can put it up to its original form again, and you can do it over and over again, but over time they break down really easy. So, yeah, this will be up on, the video review will be up on this, and then the Bigfoot saga stuff will be done.
End of a long
over on Cruisers Motorsports, I don't do a whole lot of long-form videos for summertime, but look for middle August for long-form videos to return to Cruisers Motorsports.
Cool.
You would have really enjoyed Saturday morning breakfast. Whenever we set the bombs off here and went to breakfast over at D's, which is the best breakfast area in this, or breakfast restaurant in this area. And there was a big car show going out at Yellow Creek Park, and there were, it was like pulling into a 1950s drive-in. There was a 57 Chevy Bel Air, a 56 Ford, 2 of the old 61 trucks with the big panel step sides. And it was, as soon as we pulled in, I went, oh, shit. So I had to call my dad. I said, Dad, there's a car show going on somewhere. And he's like, yeah, it's out at Yellow Creek Park. I'm going later. I was like, okay. But yeah, they were all just sitting there. I was like, ooh.
Speaking of car shows. Mr. Magnus.
Yes, sir.
You picked up a tip at a car show a couple weeks ago? How did that tip work out?
I have not got a phone call back. I have left 3 messages.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, but I have not got a phone call back. I sent him a text. I sent him 2 voicemails, so I don't want to harass him too awful much and get him pissed off at me because he is an older gentleman. He's my dad's age. He's in his 70s. Like I said, it's some stuff of his son's. So I'm going to let it sit for about a week, and then I will hit him up again and see what I can do. According to my dad, he knows who it is. And it's the same guy that owns, he's got a warehouse right behind the Masonic Lodge here that is full of like 1980s and like 1970s, 1980s pinball machines. So I've actually been looking for this guy for a while anyway. Because if he's got the pinball machine that I hope
does the guy also have video game cabinets?
No, he just has pinball machines.
Oh, too bad.
He just has pinball machines.
So guys,
you got someone who can make some right here. This guy can make you a video game cabinet.
Yeah, of course, we're gonna make them. But for our Grail items, like I don't know how many did everybody play quarter video games in the arcade? Is that something all of us did?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
You do that? Okay, yeah.
Young.
So No, well, you're young. You're younger, so you won't remember some of the earlier games that, like, for instance, Spin and I played. But you'll remember probably Ninja
You
Turtles.
make it sound like you were at the last
Ninja
supper,
Turtles,
bro.
X-Men, Mortal Kombat.
Yeah. But for me, so my game would be Double Dragon, like the original Double
I remember
Dragon.
that one.
Just watch that on Ninjatron's stream or Goober's stream. Well, one of
Yeah.
the streams.
Yeah, so I'd love to have that in the case, original Double Dragon, like I would buy that $2,000, $3,000 is what they used to be going for.
I think the
you
real
might
challenge.
You might want to check out your local Facebook Marketplace, because I know down here anyway, those cabinets go for cheap anymore. Nobody wants to mess with them because of all the retro cabinets came out, and it's kind of like with the Nintendo.
But the retro cabinets are they're not the same. They don't have the same feel.
Yeah, but it's kind of like when they brought out the little tiny Nintendo thing that had like a whole bunch of preloaded games, and this sold, it really took the value of the old Nintendos down, because everyone who wanted to play those games just bought that little thing, you know? Yeah, I agree. I just like with the video game cabinets, I wanted the old Nintendo, and I wouldn't let go of mine. But you might want to check your local Facebook Marketplace, because, man, I've seen them cheap.
Okay, yeah, I'll check that out. Well, and we also all are like gonna start building stuff. Spin. I have, like, with the video game cabinet, I got to talk to you and Deceptikitty as soon as we're done today. I just had a genius idea today of the next iteration of that unit.
All right. The Shiva Kobe says next week, definite mass Costco run, and says cheers, gang. And Charlie C says good night, everyone. And just before we sign off over Deceptikitty and Ferrocord, Deceptikitty, what do you have coming up for this week?
Yes, so this week I had made a big promise that I would release the demo to the Mystery of Convoy video game right after the con, which I didn't. I wanted to do a couple of updates from the TFCON demo version, but Deceptikitty got sick, so I was bogged down by a few things. So that's going out along with a mailer subscription to the deceptikitty.com website. And also this week there's going to be some products listed on the website. You can buy our 3D printed stuff, you can buy our t-shirts and stickers and more. Stay tuned this week, deceptikitty.com, childrenofprimus.com.
Cool. And Fear of Courage.
I have too many things to review. I have this whole pile of stuff. I have I have 9 things. So I will say, I did manage to really quickly write and photograph my crazy little Unicron prototype. So that'll be the next one to go up, because he was nice and easy to talk about. Beyond that, I have the all-important Make Toy Seeker. This will take a bit of time, because I want to get really in-depth with him. Another priority, obviously, would be talking about the other TFCon exclusive, Clutch. I have so many other things here. I have my Dramatic Capture Series set.
Professor Perceptor, I think Mr. Magnus is showing some stuff you might be interested in to your right.
Yeah.
Well, we'll go back to Magnus once Fear is done it for a second.
Yeah, so, I don't know. All these guys are going to get reviewed on childrenofprimus.com/news and reviews. Eventually. I just got to write the damn things. It's going to... I have material for days. I hadn't even talked about Origin Wheeljack, which the lovely gift from Mr. Magnus. Boy, I have so many things. It's a little bit overwhelming.
Cool. And that Pac-Man is a.
Oh, there you go.
There we go.
Yeah, nice.
Turtles in
Wicked, wicked. Love it. Now, Mr. Magnus, you're a tall guy, right? So you got to put those things on risers, right?
Yeah, I've got them on stand.
Ah, that's why they're so tall.
Oh, that's cool.
So that's one of the things I didn't like about those retro ones, is that they made them miniaturized. Like, they should have made them at least the right height.
Well, they're really big. Like, if you remember, those arcade machines were huge because the CRT TV was so big in there.
Oh, yeah.
It kind of makes sense. Oh, that's your gaming table. Nice.
Well, yeah, that's my gaming table. That's where I've been painting this past week.
Cool.
I don't feel so bad about my gaming table now. Mine is covered in...
Mine's my... Yeah, so this is the bar.
Woohoo!
Yeah.
I'm curious, do you have a mixer? Do you have your painting and drinking supplies ever get mixed up together? I have a friend named Michael Glass, and he has bottles of like bourbon and whiskey and all that type of stuff mixed in with like, you know, his painting supplies on his shelves. And it's like, I just like, hey, Mike, can I have a drink? And he goes over and I was like, no, I don't want the paintbrush. I want a shot of that.
When you're sniffing art supplies, you can get mixed up pretty easily.
Yeah, Professor
that
D had said something about Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and I was like, got it in the next room.
The Children of Primus does not promote sniffing of any art supplies. Professor D, your mic is muted.
And if
I
you're
said
gonna
I
sniff
knew
grass,
I knew
let it
he
be the
would.
grass
I
on the
knew he
ground.
would have the Ninja Turtles in the episode. Unicorn.
All right.
Guys,
Well,
remember this? Good times. Children of Primus all around.
Oh, nice. You got the bucket. I wish I got the bucket from the 40th anniversary Transformer special.
you got
They
something.
didn't have it there.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't, eh?
Oh yeah. Speaking of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, I did finally pick up. I know I mentioned, or how I found the Leonardo and the Donatello for only $5. The movie from last summer. I did end up getting the Raphael and the Michelangelo.
Nice.
I heard it was a good set of
I might
figures.
take some pictures of them eventually, because you know how they come with like just like the Playmate toys in the '80s, how they came with the rack of weapons. Like, and I was playing around with like, let me see how I can, which weapons I can stash on them well or not. So I might take some pics of them with their like my custom weapon loadouts for them, and post those on IG maybe.
Nice.
Maybe that'll be my goal for something to have done for next week, by next Sunday.
And on that note, we're going to wrap up for this Sunday evening. So thank you to all you guys for coming out. Thank you for everyone in the comments. And, thanks, us getting bombed earlier with all the comments and views. So, we're going to share that over on everyone else's channel, in the upcoming weeks, months, years even. But again, thank you. Yep. Subscribe to the channel, like the video, till all are one, because we are collectors in disguise. So till all are one.
Till all
Till all are one.
One.
Oh.